Well, hello, Zachy. How's it going there, Citrus? Good to see you guys. We just turned the volume of the game back up. We had the dog panting next to me, which I love. This dog is stuck here, so he's panting. So try bringing the tug up last time. I'm gonna end up having to bring it up again, or what I might just do is I'm gonna do a quick test here. I'm gonna see if I can bring it up with an add-on editor, and the reason is I've already brought up the tug in the trailer. And because I despawned the vehicle, I wanted to test that out. You still can't despawn the vehicle. It will spawn the parasite craft with it, which is fine. You just have to load it separately. But what I'm going to try to do is put them up with an add-on and see if they'll stay up there. And that way, I did rightfully move them up there. And then this way, that will work. So let's go ahead and test that. Grab the add-on here. This will be tug and trailer. If I can spell. Alright, tug and trailer, we'll go ahead and find that mission location. This was one cool thing that came out on October 12th, was they finally kind of categorized these, so it makes it a hell of a lot easier to find them. Alright, I'll go ahead and edit the objects here. And then we're right about... See, I'll probably taxi over here, so let's go ahead and stick them here. And I just want to test them here, so... Grab these. I fixed the cooling on the airplane. I had literally no cooling, so I'll show you how I did that. It's not too, you know, not too involved, but all right. So kind of the plan is have this. Let's save it. I'm gonna, you know, this will work now, but I want to see if this is gonna work for me. So this will be tug, tug in trailer. Military. Okay. Tug and trailer military, and so I should be able to just test this with the add-on, and then I'm just going to teleport over there. And so, you know, I did bring them up, but like I said, they despawn, so instead of spending all that time, as you can see, they're right here. So they're good to go. Next thing I'll do is I'll quickly show you guys the... So I should be able to take the plane up there with the pallet, spawn the add-on, then use the vehicles to move it, and then we'll be good there. So I'll show you what I did with the plane to make it work. Let me quickly, I'll just bring up the custom menu. I'll bring up the custom game, rather. That's going to be better than showing you guys all these things and potentially screwing up my career game. I do need to make a backup of that career game too. I've yet to do that. But so the issue I was having with cooling was I was getting fluctuating flow rates. You have to keep an eye on that. If you're getting fluctuating flow rates, likely you're going to need to get some of the air out of the lines. It's acting like a... So like in real life, you'll have these anti-hammers. They're in... Let me see if I can get a picture. So let's see, pipe, hammer, water. They're water hammers. Let's just type in water hammer. Let me see if I can find a water hammer. Okay, so these are water hammers, and these are usually used for, you know, water lines. But you'll put these water hammers in, and they essentially this is what they look like. And so good. Here's a cutaway. Look at that. So there's an air chamber in here, and as the water goes through, what would happen is as you have pressure changes in your water pipes, they would shake and bang, and you'll like hear your pipes banging sometimes, especially old pipes, they'd be banging, and it's as the water compresses in there, or as the air compresses in there, rather. And so these hammers allow that to, it's like a shock absorber. You know, and so essentially, if you think about it that way, you're getting air trapped in your fluid lines, or in your liquid lines. Air is a fluid. And so it's causing it so that your water cannot flow correctly. Your water can't flow smoothly. And so what I did here is I just pulled the engine, and I went through a bunch of tests to try to get this to run right, and this works really well. As you can see, I have dead solid flow rates on here. And so what I did here is I have the radiator, I have pump in, pump out. Then I go to T-pieces. This allows both sides to get rid of the air pressure that's causing the hammering effect. So as the water pushes up against the air, it's acting like a shock absorber, and it's giving you unreliable flow rates. And so here comes the pump. It goes into a T, and only the air is allowed to go through. This is, let me make sure this is cycling correctly. I want to make sure this isn't going to... It seems to be working fine, but we'll see if it actually cools, because I see a problem. This might be a problem where... the water can also go through here, but we have adequate flow rates. I'm flowing this way and this way. So even if we're losing some of the water through here, we're getting rid of our air. So let me actually try one other system here. So this potentially could have water coming through here and cycling, but I don't think it's going to be a problem because we're still getting water coming through here. Actually, we're not. Okay, we're not. So I have to fix this. This is screwed up. Okay, so continue testing, because I need my cooling system to work here. So I just literally figured that out. But I was testing this out earlier. So let's check this out, see what I can do. So let's see. So I want to put in, let's do a quick test. Put in something like this. So that's not going to work. As you can see, the flow rates were 0 on that. But it could just be the coolant manifold here is causing some problems. And maybe they need to fix something. Maybe they don't. So we'll do some more testing here. Alright, so here's some liquid or some gas reliefs here. And so hopefully that will let the gas out. Let's go ahead and take a check. Because I need solid flow rates. I was getting really fluctuating flow rates like this. So Interesting. So I got to figure this out. So like now you can see this is actually moving. So we'll see what I have to do to get this to work properly, because that made no, that made perfect sense why this wasn't working. But all right. So I need to come up with some solution for this, because that's not going to let me cool my engine at all if I don't do this right. So yeah, like you can see here, so this was my error, it was coming through here and it was going out and back. So it's looping like this, but it's actually never getting to the coolant manifold. You'll notice there's no flow rate, but look at the atmospheres in the coolant manifold. The atmospheres are at 32.7. So let's try something else. Let's try this really quick. So let's run this like this. Let's see if I can depressurize the engine. The engine could be pressurized. So I need to figure out, let's see, let's grab this. So I want to do a bunch of tests here, try to figure out some of the, the pressurization issues here. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a coolant manifold, and I'm going to see if I can get the air to bleed out of here. So let's try that. So let's go, I don't want the other side. Let's get rid of symmetry here. Come on, you killing me, symmetry. Because if you notice, there's 32 atmospheres trapped inside of that coolant manifold. So that's going to fight, even if it's, even if it is water, it can get trapped in there. So I want to get rid of it. Need to cut that pressure down. All right, so now I'm going to try this. This is just going to be trying to get the air out of that coolant manifold. So it may or may not work. We'll test it out and see. So this was at 32 atmospheres. We're at 29. Still not getting any flow rate. We'll check the top in a second here. Those are now running. You can see this is minimal gas pressure in there. So I'll try some systems. I need to get this cooling fixed. This is cycling now because the coolant manifold's not a problem. But I'll play with this, try to get this, because this is kind of making the plane unusable at the moment that I can't cool it. I can shut engine overheating off for the time being, but we'll see. So that's bleeding. Let's see what the pressure is on this. Yeah, so it's slowly bleeding out air. But that might not be our problem. So let's go ahead. We'll keep playing with this, try to get this fixed. Let's read some chat here. Thinking of making a super compact 10-speed transmission, but I also want to start on my Lewis grains. Oh, very interesting. How's it going there, FS? What's happening? Alright, so we're going to go kind of start fresh from trying to fix this engine here. Let's cut some of this out. I want to see what is something screwy in here, too. I changed some stuff up in here. And so I'm going to cut out that. I want to kind of get this identical. So let's actually let's reload it. For a lot of the stuff, it's just going to be testing until they kind of come up with their finalized version. Put it in perspective, I know a lot of people are still freaking out about the update. I keep saying on a daily basis, people, the game is dead. But, Escape, to put it in perspective, Escape from Tarkov was completely down all day yesterday. Escape from Tarkov is a much, much bigger game. Completely down yesterday. Not a big deal, man. What did I do? I wanted to play Tarkov. Couldn't play Tarkov. Played something else. It's like, this is, I keep hearing people saying this game is unplayable. It is, then what am I doing at the moment? Looks like I'm playing this game right now, so it's working. Let's go ahead and see. So, getting no flow through there. We're doing a little air relief. Let's get this system fixed. So I want to get this cooling running into this engine. Interested. Let's not hack like that. Let's not hack crazily. Alright, so we're going to do a regular run. Let's do that first. Alright, so we'll test this methodically, and we'll see what's up with this. I thought I had this fixed. I don't. Alright, so you see we have screwy flow rates again. I've tried it with a valve to try to slow the flow rates down. The oscillation could be the air just compressing in the tanks. And like you notice we have 89. We get a little bit of fluctuation anyway because of the air pressure taking some. It's essentially, it's like I was showing you with that water hammer. The air pressure will allow it to bounce a little bit. So I do expect that behavior a little bit because the air is going to compress, uncompress. That's natural. That would happen. I'm just trying to see how it's affecting cooling, though. Like, you notice the numbers are moving around, but they're not going to 0. That's the big deal. If they're not going to 0, you know you're not getting air pockets in there. So that's important. So keep an eye on this. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tank in here. 1, to boost water. 2, because I can read the different pressures on here, and that will make it just a little bit easier to read. So make sure this is fresh water. You know, a bunch of people have been saying that, like, if we look now, so now you can see before we were getting a solid 90 liters per second, or it was fluctuating, but it was around 90 liters per second. And now, as you can see, it's down. I'm hitting numbers as low as it looks like 40 to 70, it looks like. Because it looks like it's going 47, 47, 47. Let me see if I can get a quick vid of this and kind of confirm that. Alright, so I did a quick recording here. I'll bring that recording up. I should be able to slow it way, way down. And I can actually see what the numbers are actually doing, you know, on a really precise scale here. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll look at that. And I think a little tests like this are helpful. Let me see, where is the speed on this? I forget how to do speed. Let's see. I haven't played with VLC in a little bit here. But I can walk it through anyway, so. Alright, so see we have 70 liters per second, right? So 70, 55. So it's coming in at 55 liters per second, and it's leaving at 70 liters per second, which makes sense. It's going in and getting some backflow. And then it goes, so it's 70, 30, 70, 30, 70, 30. 40s, you know, so you can see we're getting a variability between like 70 or 37 there and 70. So, you know, slowing it down like this, we can actually look at what it's doing. So it's getting flow. That's not the problem. Before, what would happen when you had oscillations was it would go to 0. So we're not going to 0, so we're good on that. So let's go ahead and I'll check out if we can get that back up. So the tank is actually hurting us, so we don't want the tank in there. So put that back on. And we'll do another run here. And so now if you're looking, you notice it's much higher. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take a quick recording of this. All right, let's go ahead and stop the recording and I'll bring that up and we can see what it's doing now. But it's kind of a cool way to do it that you can actually see what's happening. Alright, let's go. Alright, that's me talking over myself. Alright, so here it goes down to 49, but it was, so I was thinking like 49.90 was what the numbers I was seeing. So there's, it's going down to 49, but it's also flowing at 94. So it's much faster, more flow rate without that extra water in there. So that's good to know as well. So a little test like this should help us get this flow rate running a little bit better. So, all right, so now that I've taken that out, I'm going to try to move this closer and see if that gives us any sort of benefit. Because I do want this to run well. So let's take this, cut that, we'll move it. Again, the shorter the pipe, the better. So we're going to cut the pipe distance there. So this is about as short of a distance as I can run. See what we get for numbers there. So 94 was our max on there. So that looks like a 94. Could be a little bit more. I'll go ahead and I'll record it again. We'll see what's up. Alright, that should be enough. Go grab this recording here. Alright, so there's 91, 84. Trying to step it through here. 94. Yes, that didn't really change the flow rates there, but it actually might have. You notice we didn't get down to... we got a 49 there. Okay, we did go down to 49. So we're getting oscillating flows, but if you notice, we are getting pretty good flows. They're going up, so that's not bad. Let's go ahead and test. I want to run some sort of restriction. So by putting a restriction in there, we'll see if we get better or worse flow rates. So I'll put a variable valve in there. This will let me test it. So doing it this way, where you're actively looking at the recording, I can see exactly what's going on, and that will tell me if my flow rates improve or decline. You know, the oscillation used to be a big problem. We'll see if it is now. So a bunch of stuff to check out. Did I plug that in? I hope I did. All right, so now this should be dead stopped because the variable valve's on 0. It is. Okay, good. And let's see. So we should have pretty much no flow rate because the water can't go anywhere. Let's go ahead and click this up about, I don't know, we'll go to like 10-ish%. Alright, so you see we're getting a steady flow rate now. A little bit of an oscillation there, but now it's steady. But it's very low. So let's go up to like 55%. Alright, we're getting oscillation, but you notice we're only at like 10. So that's no bueno. Let's go to 100. And so now, are we even getting what we were? No. So the dual pumps are definitely better. You notice we're only hitting like a cap of 30. So we get rid of some oscillation potentially with this, but we cut the flow considerably. So that is certainly not worth doing. So I'm thinking we're going to be all right just running strict system like this. I think that's going to be probably our best bet. We'll go test the plane. We'll take it up there. We'll see how it cools. So let's go ahead and grab the plane. And so I'd put in this new system, and it's just not going to work. I need to finish up some stuff. I had to move a bunch of stuff around here. So let's see. All right, and this whole setup here can move. So let's see. Moved a couple things around in here, not really all that critical stuff. Right, let's cut this. Gonna go there. All right, and then we're gonna get rid of this air relief valve here. So the air at first seemed like it was helping, but it's not. It was just never letting the water cycle through. So. All right, so we're going to run with this for now. I want to test one more thing, too. I want to try to get an air purge, but I was not getting any good results off strict air purge, so... Because I was not getting very good results off it anyway, I don't think it's worth doing at the moment, so... Kind of have to run the numbers and see what it does. Okay. Hopefully we can get the cooling tackled on this. Alright, so that's plumbed in now. Alright, save this. Just do it this one because I've been playing with this one. I need to fix the tops here. So I moved the fuel and the air. So I need to fix those. Symmetry, how about you come back on, my dude? There we go. Okay, good. There we go. All right, let's paint this sucker up right there. All right, so I plumbed the fuel and the air. So that's fixed up. Let's go ahead and save this again. I want to bring up the test model again. I want to see if I can do some sort of air purge that improves the system. I doubt I'm going to be able to. But this is a throwaway right here. This is not going to work, so we want to get rid of that. And I want to find some way to air purge this. We did a double air purge, and it just wasn't helping. Let's just run with this. I'll take the plane up, we'll test it, and we'll see. I'll try to burn it up. So I'll try to burn it up, see if it burns up or if it is alright. So let's go ahead and we want to make sure engine overheating is on, vehicle damage can be on, infant electrics off. Alright, let's go give this a test run. And worst case scenario, we need to wait for a fix to some of this cooling stuff, but you know, I could try some air cooling as well. Alright, let's go ahead. Flaps, brakes. I think we're good to go here. Right, let's go. So I'm just going to leave the props full forward, and that should help me really build up some heat. You know, the main thing for me is, you know, at full takeoff power, which is where we're at now, I don't mind if we burn up. I'm actually we should burn up. That would happen IRL in most planes. Is, you know, you can't stay at full throttle all the time. But I do want to make it so that, you know, you're at least going max speed prop setting, that it should not burn up. So we'll see what this temp does. I'll just quickly get it going here. Now, this is no auto gyro. This is just me having it trimmed up. So this plane's balanced really well. Read some chat while we're just cooking here. What would flow rates be with impellers? I'd have to look. The problem is the engine is backwards. I don't have space to route it. I don't even have space to supercharge it. The next thing to do is to supercharge and drop the RPS. That's the next thing to do. This is one of the reasons why I noticed flappy door here. This is why I don't like running distance sensors. You have problems like this. My normal way of doing my gear doors is I do them with large pivots. I wish the devs would add the functionality to small pivots that we can read their position. I'm going to drop the volume in the game a little bit. It's a little bit loud for that. I should put a headset on the seat, but the, you know, we're building temp, but it's not that bad. So the way my system's set up is those, if we look, we just barely see them. Those radiators should not be turning yet. They won't come on until 100 degrees, so we should not have any cooling going on until we hit 100 degrees here. So, but it would be nice to supercharge these engines and decrease the RPS. Make it quieter. The problem is I need to make a space because I don't have enough space for it right now. Because I need to go clutch, T-piece, gearbox. Right now I have it clutch, gearbox. So the benefit with that too is I can put the scoops back on. So we'll see how this behaves when I get up to 100. We're also headed south here, so we're going into hotter, not necessarily hotter, but we're maintaining the temperature of the world. We're not going into like a cold place, so. You notice we're just going into the hot range, so that way we don't actively, you know, go into a colder area and screw up the test. So we're at like the worst case scenario for you know, losing heat as well. We're at the highest manifold pressure. We're at the highest RPM, so we're maxed out here. I'm just going to retrim us here. We lost a little bit of pitch. Alright, so around 100, if it's going to stabilize, we'll notice it kick on the, you know, we'll notice it starts to stabilize out because the radiators and the coolant pumps don't come on until 100 degrees anyway. So here we come. Alright, so we're still climbing at a standard rate. It's really not abating at all, so. Alright, good to know. So we're pretty much guaranteed we're going to overheat now, unless I set it to 110. We'll check at 110 as well, because that's the other number I often use, 110, so we'll see. See what it does. I could check out air cooling as well, but yeah, at the moment, the electric radiators are our best bet, just because that's what's working best, so we'll see. Yep, no change in rate at 110, so. Alright, so we know that's not going to work at the moment, so let's keep working. Keep trying to fix this up. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab the test rig again. So I need to try to get these flow rates stabilized. Alright, so I'm going to take what we currently have here, and this is going to be the new standard, so I'm going to get rid of that because I took out the air bleeds on there. Alright, and so let's go ahead and save this. Merged, it is. Okay, let's save this as my cooling test. Alright, we need to come up with some solution for this. I can't test. I could test an air system here. Alright, let's rip this apart. Let's test a quick air cooling system, because ideally I would like to do air cooling just for thematically it's kind of correct. Let's see. Let's undo this. Alright, let's cut you. So I'm trying to see if I can just get steady flow rates. That's kind of what I'm working for right now, is some steady flow rates. Alright, let's actually redo that. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to cut and chop because I just want to make this work for the moment. Let's go ahead and take an air cooler. Put a block here so I can place it. These are always a pain in the ass to find out which one's supposed to go where. Alright, let's go ahead and I'll check it. So this will be, this should be liquid out. That's fluid out. Perfect. I got it on the first try. That's always a shock. Air out. So air out. We'll just do a ram out. And then I want to do... normally I'd do a scoop here, but I'm just going to pump it in. I want best case scenario. See if this will work. Alright, so let's check this. See what how we get stabilized flow rates on this. Excuse me, sir. Walking air. True, we're getting nothing through there. Interesting. There's no water that spawns in this, so that's why we're getting nothing. But the engine should spawn something. Alright, we're getting nothing there. Are you moving there, guy? Oh, I shut off that electricity. Okay, that's why. Shut off him for electricity. Alright, there we go. Alright, we're moving now. Alright, so there's no water spawning in there, so we're not getting any water moving. Which I don't know why the engine's not spawning water in. It's weird. Yeah, so we're getting nothing in the modular engine manifold, which is frickin' weird. You can see we have 14.52 liters there, nothing cycling. Interesting. Not moving any water. Moving plenty of air through there, so that's screwy. Alright, let's see what's up. Let's just cut you for now. I just want to see what this looks like with some water in there. What the hell? Why is we moving no water? Water in here, it's just not going through at all. Interesting. As you see, we have more liters now, so it did take some of the water to put in the engine casing. Just curious why this is screwed up. Interesting, interesting. Very interesting. So we're moving like literally nothing through that heat exchanger. All right, let's do a regular cooling test here. Kind of trying to figure this shit out and see why it's not working right. Alright, so we have fluid in, fluid out. You know, there's definitely, it seems like they need to do some work on this stuff. Oh, that was in, right? In, okay. So it definitely seems like they need to work on the cooling at the moment. Does not surprise me. But so likely we should expect there'll be a change at some point, but let's see. I want to set this up as realistically as I can. So let's go. So the manifold piece could theoretically be screwing up the water flow, but we'll have to check. I'm not really convinced that's the issue yet. I'm just going to mimic some of the parts of this engine to try to make sure that it's spawning water correctly and everything else. So. Because the engine's supposed to spawn with some water in it, so we'll see if it is doing that. We're running an 8-cylinder here, so. Alright, we'll just run a little test bench here. Something I can easily fix and adjust and check flows. Alright, so we got air pushing through. That's fine. We have water moving again. So you see, we actually have water moving this time. That's nice to see. But very, very badly. It's not moving well at all. Looks like we're low on liters of air. Or liters of water there. Okay. But you see the flow rates are terrible. Okay. And I'll probably need to get some air relief in there at some point. Okay. Let's try to put some sort of air relief in the system here. See if we can purge some of this air out the system. Yeah, see, this is just working horrifically. This isn't doing anything really well. Yeah, I think electric radiators are really pretty much the only thing that's working all that well right now. Yeah, because we were up to like 90 oscillating liters last time, and now we're wicked low. Alright. Yeah, I've increased the liters on there by putting a tank in, but let's grab that tank out, see how it behaves without the tank. I'm trying to see if it's air compression that's causing problems here, so. We have a lot of trial and error trying to figure this out. So then we're getting higher numbers now without the water, so definitely I'm kind of at this point convinced that adding water is not the right path for this. Alright, let's try something here. Let's go ahead and pull back the engine tests here. Stick an impeller in here for now. Let's actually read the nodes here first. This is fluid out. That would be fluid in. So this is going to be the outflow side. Trying to see if there's a way I could line up both of their pumps. I don't think I can. Yeah, it's very tight here. So that's fluid out. All right, let's go. Just want to do this for the test. Don't see this as being much of an advantage, if any at all. So let's see. We'll test it and see. Okay. Shouldn't need much on those. You tend to cap these out pretty fast, so you really don't need all that much going to this. Alright, so it's 21 liters already in the engine. It's 50 liters in the radiator. So I'm curious if, for example, it seemed like that air liquid was not spawning any water in with it. Yeah, the T-pieces I'm not a fan of as well. They tend to just screw flow really badly, but... Alright, we're getting stabilized numbers with the impeller. Yeah, we're getting good stabilized flow with that. So we were getting up to 90 before. So let's see. We're at 2 RPS. The problem is this is going to be a zoo trying to plumb this thing with impellers. Alright, so let's see. Where are we at there? We're at 4 RPS, so we really don't need much. And we have good stability. We have good water. We're definitely passing water through. So let's give this a run. This is going to be an absolute disaster trying to plumb this up, but we got to do it. So again, I could complain about it, or I could just play and have fun. And so that's kind of why I just decided I'm going to play and have fun. It's like the constant complaining about it's not going to help me, you know? Kind of why I don't think that's the best method for anybody. It's just like, you know, at the present, you got to do it. You either want to play or you don't. And I want to play, so I'm going to just do it, man. Okay, let's clear that. Alright, so I'm going to look in here. So I'm going to screw with a bunch of stuff here. So let's cut that. We're going to work on this engine. I want to get these. I'm going to up-spec these engines nicely. So, all right, let's check. They're not symmetrical, which is always my favorite. So, they're mostly symmetrical. There's a couple parts in there that are different, and I just want to rip them out so that they're pretty good here. All right, so we're pretty good here on getting this ready. So let's go ahead and start cutting. Actually, I want to take out the airs. Anything that's connected to logic, I just want to manually cut out so that it can just easily be put back. And then I can start cutting with symmetry on, which will help. So we only need 4 RPS. That's one thing I see a lot of people doing with these impellers that's not a great idea is if you're... Oh, let's put symmetry on. They're just like, you know, they're over-revving them more than they need, and then they're stealing a ton of power. You don't steal too much power if you don't overuse them, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So, like, for example, some of the air intakes, like, they'll spin them up as fast as they humanly possible, and they're never going to be able to use that much air, so there's no point in spinning them up that much. So it's kind of like, it's better if you just don't spin the impellers up that much. Let's cut this, move that 1. You know, it's like for air intakes, for doing what we're going to be doing supercharging here, you know, you'll find that you're going to cap out how much air the engine can take before anyway. So you actually kind of want to down gear them sometimes. Let's cut you. So these are all up gears, so we don't want to bring these with us like that. We're going to take them like that. The other thing I could do is, I still want to work on the cooling, but I could really... This engine's plenty powerful. I could upgear this engine even more. Because I think we're at 901, if memory serves. I'll have to look. I have to see where I'm at. Because as I upgear it, I'm going to load the engine. Yeah, we're already at a 901, so I can't go up anymore unless I gear it up even more. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we'll cut that. We'll T-piece this. Alright, we'll merge this. And this. Alright, so now we should be pretty symmetrical. I can run with this. Alright, good. So this is going to be the accessory drive on here. So you have this in real planes where it's power takeoff off of the engine. And it allows you to run some accessories. So that's what we're going to be running. So we're going to want a pump impeller for the actual turbo. Or supercharger, rather. So we probably want to down gear them both and run them both the same rate. So what I think we're going to do is actually cut here again. And we'll put in a T-piece going to the side. Because I don't know, I want to leave that middle space for air intake at the moment. Not really. Let's we'll play with it here. Let's go down. Alright, so we want to face away from the engine. So facing toward the engine is going to increase the RPS. Facing away from the engine is going to down gear. So we want to way down gear because the engine's going to turn, what was it, like 1200 RPM? So 1200 divided by 60. So we're talking 20 RPS. We want to get down to 4. So, you know, right now, this gear ratio is giving us 6.6. So that's not bad. I don't want to go another gearbox because I don't want to waste any power. But that's about probably a reasonable down gear there. All right, so now we want to go accessory gearbox off of this, essentially. So we'll go T-piece, like so. All right, and then we'll go impeller here. I guarantee I get this wrong on the first try. Yep, okay. I'm seeing I'm doing symmetry. I got to get this right. So. All right, good. So this is going to be what? Air, fluid in. Okay. And this is going to be fluid out. Of course, the opposite of what I would like it to be. Where's my engine? Okay, this is air in. That's air out. All right. Not the end of the world. It's just not really where I'd like it to be. I just can't move these. These just don't move on me. Okay, so let's see. We have fluid out, fluid in. So I need a route there, and then this is... Part of this, I want to make it look the way I want to. So I'm just going to take a scoop. Stick it here inside. We'll see how this runs. I want to make sure this runs fine first, and then I can pretty it up. And then that's not going to work right for me. So I wanted the scoop sticking on the right here, essentially, so I kind of want it to be opposite, but can't really do it. So, all right, this is going to go back, fluid in. All right, we'll stick the scoop right here. Scoop. All right, there we go. So there's my scoop. All right. And then this is going to be fluid out. So I want to take my air manifold. So should be able to cut the RPS down on this engine quite a bit because we're now supercharged. So that's going to also help with cooling, is getting, you know, we do build more air up because we're still burning fuel faster, but I can knock the RPS down on the engine as well. That's also going to help with, I think it's way too loud at the moment. And I don't mind putting a headset on, but if I'm like walking around, it's screaming in my ear, so. Alright, where the hell did that go? Alright, right there. Alright, so we're symmetried up there nicely. So that is now supercharged. All right, now we have another accessory gearbox, you know, accessory section coming off of here. We had 4 RPS on that test, and I was running hundreds of liters per second. Oh, no, not hundreds, but over 100 liters per second. So that was a good flow on that. So let's see. So, you know, you get this type of thing in real engines and airplanes. They have the accessory gearbox where you're taking power off of the engine to then run other accessories. In this case, we're running a running an impeller. So, all right, let's see how I want to pump this bad John. Let's just start with an. Yeah, I'm trying to route this. So I also need to merge the cylinder heads. So that needs to come. That definitely needs to come at some point. So we are there. I need to do that. I could increase the size of the engines too, make them 10s. That would help me get the speed down and the heat up. Or get the heat down by getting the speed up. Oh, Jesus Christ. If I can speak, that would be great. If I can get the RPS down, my heat production will go down. So by increasing the size of the engine, I can understress it. All right. This is going to suck trying to get a manifold in here. This becomes a problem again because I have to go there. All right. I've found my route, so we're all right. I found my route, I think. All right. So this got us to go like here. All right, then we're going to cut here. I want to do this in symmetry as much as possible. All right, beautiful. So that will work. All right, now we need manifold pieces because the cylinder banks need to be joined. All right, that's going to go like that. We're going to take this T-piece here. Some more of these pieces, please, Dev. All right, there we go. We need a coolant manifold. All right, there we go. All right, so accessory gearbox is coming back. All right, and so we should be able to come up with an impeller. This becomes a pain in the ass a little bit, but let's see. So we want to go down here, and we want to do elbow. Elbow, straight. Straight. Oh, piss off. Straight, elbow. I think that's good, but we'll check it. Yep, that's good. All right, good. So elbow straight. So there's our accessory gearbox here. Impeller. All right. All right, so that is going to be... It's going to be a routing headache, but fluid out. Okay. Generally, that will start with the impeller. So when you place that like this, you generally want to flip it, and that will give you your torque output. So you want to place it downstream and then flip it, and that part on the right will be your torque. If you leave it like that, it puts the torque opposite, so you got to flip it. All right, so this doesn't really matter, but that's fluid out. That's fluid in. Trying to think of okay, so I had it pretty good the way it was. Okay, good. So let's back it up to here. Oh shit, it's not gonna let me back it up that much. All right. I think I've got the routing I want here. All right, so here is gonna be fluid out. All right, good. So this will go like this. So fluid out is gonna go. Doesn't really matter. I'm trying to just keep this as short a run as possible. Okay, right there. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and go like this. All right, so that is the new routing. So A little bit of a pain in the ass to route it, but it worked, so. Alright, so now I gotta run this up and see how it operates, so. Yeah. And if I need to down gear this one even more, if I'm taking too much power, I can do that, so. Alright, so let's get these. Should hopefully be all set. Batteries need to go back somewhere. Probably go in the back here of the nacelle right here. So, stick them in the back of the nacelles. So I need to have a, so they'll auto pump themselves here. What the frick is it? What are we touching here? Okay, it needs to come over one. There we go. All right. So that will sit right there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Merge that sucker up. All right, then this one needs to take its battery back. I'm going to do a static test, so I'm just going to rev this sucker up sitting still. And we could fly, I guess. We could go fly. It's not a big deal to fly. Alright. And we'll go without some of the parts. That's fine. We'll let that dump. I never grabbed... Okay, good. I never grabbed this one off, so we'll reattach this. We'll stick the side panel on this side. Alright, so I think we're good for a test run here. Hopefully we're at a higher pump rate. We're also supercharged now, so we should be getting more power. So even though we're stressing the engine now more, hopefully we get more power, so we'll see. I'll reach out in a second. I'm just kind of rocking and rolling here, so. Alright, let's see. The fan should come on at 110, so we'll be pumping water through, but the fan won't come on until later. Not a big deal. I don't really care, but... Alright, we started. That's always a good sign. Okay, what's up with... one of them is not pumping up. Okay. They're both equal. One of them seemed like it... Yeah, one's running a little sluggish. I'll have to check on that. We got one running a little bit sluggish. I'm going to drop the volume again. Gears coming up, flaps are coming up. So normally we were at around 150. We're at 165. So we've gained 15 knots off the supercharge. You know, we've also stressed the engines. We stressed the engines out a little bit more by putting all those extra... we're running an impeller for supercharging, so that stressed the engine out. Plus we put in an impeller for cooling. And we've gained 15 knots so far. So, you know, the engine's handling it fine. So we'll watch our temps here. The radiator fan is not going to come on till 100, I believe I have it set for. But the water should be pumping through presently. So I might, you know, I could theoretically put a clutch on there. But I don't think I need it, you know. You know, my impeller pump is way down geared. I wish I could read the numbers. If this doesn't work, I'm going to do a static test. And we'll do it on the ground so I can actually stand there and read the numbers, but we'll see how this works. Let's read some chat while that's going. Oh, really? Yeah, I'll have to take a look at it. Yeah, that was the one thing I was talking about, I think, yesterday was, you know, it's nice to see how the voting goes, and I'm glad they picked some, you know, it's fine when you pick the same person that I picked, but, you know, the nice thing is, so, you know, sometimes the community, they value different things than I value, you know. You know, some people like an automatic gearbox, and so I hate an automatic gearbox, so I'm not, you know, generally I don't like to... That's not what I'm going to generally pick for my favorite, and you know, if it's jumping me into things and I don't feel like I have good control of my speed, you know, then that's going to hurt it in handling. You know, the community, You know, and some of the community absolutely will vote for just the picture. You know, they won't test it out, and so you're gonna have people who will vote for pictures, but then, you know, we value different things at times, which is good. You know, and that's why the community voting in there is, you know, sometimes they vote for the same one I did, or they pick the same one I do, and sometimes the community values other things. Like I prefer a manual loading system myself, and sometimes the community prefers a automatic loading system. So it is nice to see that what the different things people value. You know, also sometimes it can be, you know, if it's a name people recognize or that's their friend, you know, they'll vote for that as well. You know, so it's you know, I like to see the community vote for who they want. And that's why it's an option. You know, on Discord. For voting. Yep. Let's see. Are we over 100 yet? Not yet. So we'll see what happens when the fan comes on, because the water should be pumping. This frickin' door here needs to be fixed. I got some painting to do there. The door needs to be fixed. Something's up with that. Let's go and lay fluttery. Got a couple paints that need to be done under there. Alright, let's see where we're at here. We're coming up on 88. Seems like we're heating a lot slower than we were. What's my heading? 338. Why did we did a big turn here? Let's go back to the south. I just want to stay in the hot zone, which we should actually probably head west. Let's head west. That way, we'll definitely stay in the hot zone if we just head west. We'll stay in that ribbon. All right, now 91. All right, so we should be seeing if this is going to cool or not. You know, this is the worst case scenario here. So what it's going to happen is I'm actually going to shut off engine overheating. And the reason I'm doing that is it will still show me if we would have overheated. It's not going to actively stop us from overheating. So I'll be able to tell, but then I can do some things. Like, for example, if I take the prop back, I don't know, 10%, and if I take the prop back 10%, we don't overheat anymore, I'm happy with that, because that makes me, as a pilot, have to remove it from the takeoff condition. This is the worst case scenario. I should be overheating in the worst case scenario, but when I go to max speed setting, I should not be overheating. So this will allow me to test if that works. So we'll see what happens. It looks like we're slowing down on heating a little bit here, so yeah. You know, but definitely, the community values different things than me, and that's why I want the community's opinion in there. You know, it's remembering back to the 1950s challenge, there are different things that I valued than the community, and I like to see that there were some community pick somebody different than who I picked. You know, it's nice to see what everybody else is interested in, you know. You know, so one thing that some people on Reddit had issues with their plane was if I leave this long enough, it has a right turning tendency, and that's because the propellers are both turning in the same direction. IRL, what do? You put in a little bit of trim. You put in a little bit of aileron trim. The plane is naturally set up for that. That's not a big deal. So we are over 100 now. Let's see. It's still climbing. The radiator fan should be on at this point. I can't really tell. But so I'm going to let it, if it overheats, it overheats, and then I'm going to bring the prop back to max speed. That should stop overheating. If it still overheats, then I want to work on the heating. I want to get the heating fixed so that at max speed setting we don't overheat, because we really should not. I got to get south, or else we're going to get out of this hot band of temperature here. Head south a little bit. We're still west here. Let's get south, a little bit south. All right, there we go. That should help us here. So, like, I have a little bit of a right turning tendency because of the put in a little trim, and I'll get rid of that right turning tendency. But that's what happens in real life, is you actually have to, you trim the plane up. They do things like put little tabs on the rudder for your right turning tendencies to help mitigate it. The actual prop wash will give you a little bit of rudder movement. So, all right, where are we at? 105. We're pretty slow though building temps, so it's definitely better than it was. I'm at max throttle, max manifold pressure, max RPM. So this is the worst case scenario. So if we overheat here, I accept that. I'm going to bring the prop back to go to max speed. If it stops overheating, bingo, we're done. I'm happy. You know, so. Yeah, definitely interesting to see, you know, what the community values on their, you know, on what they thought was their favorites for the challenge as well. All right, so we're going real slow here on building temp. So we're not climbing as fast as we were. I'll go ahead and watch it, see what it does. I think I have it set. Okay, I can see the radiator fan on now, so the radiator fans are definitely on. So it's doing a pretty reasonable job cooling. You can see it's much slower now coming up to temp, so it's definitely helping. Once we hit 115, what I will do is bring us back to max speed prop setting. And the whole thing you're doing is it's increasing the pitch on the propellers, which is dropping the RPM, which will lower the temp production. We should go faster, because we're taking a little bit bigger of a bite. How's it going there, Rasmus? What's happening? What's happening? Yeah, it's over a year of challenges. I saw one of the... my video count now is over 1,000. I saw one of the... You know, it showed that it was over a year of challenges, which is cool. Next one will be sea-based. About ready just to get off Reddit completely. It's just a grouchy fest over there. Yeah, if you put up some screenshots, it's fine, but it's one of the places people like to go and complain. All right, let's check our temp here. We're probably 111, so definitely we're right on the cusp, I think, of having this cooled. Like I said, we're at worst case scenario here. We're running at a very high RPM, and you know, so we're still at our takeoff setting, which is very high, and so I kind of expect this to overheat here. I'm waiting for 115. When we hit 115, I'm gonna back the prop up. We'll get it down to our max speed, and hopefully we start dropping or maintaining temp. If we do that, I'm really happy with it. Would be good. So. Alright, where are we at here? 112. You see, it's like, it's bothering me how slowly this is getting to 115 because I can't do my next test now, so it's always a good sign. Alright, we're staying in the hot band. I'm going to try to stay in the hot band. This is kind of funny to me, too. It's like, because all this stuff is so close together, it's like, really, this here, I think would be better up here in this area of cooling. And then this is good where it is, like right in the hot band. Well, like it's like this here, I think should be up here more. So I wish they'd move this island up and give us a little bit more space between them. But, you know, the whole thing with having the railway bridge, I think that's why they did it, was to keep that railway bridge, which personally I'm not a fan of. Wow, look how slow this is heating. That's really good. So we're at max RPM, and we're still warming, but very, very slowly. You know, like, where's my fuel at? Yeah, I don't know what we start at. I have to index those fuel gauges. But yeah, so this is cooling nicely right now. All right, where are we at here? 113. This is slow and painful how long it's taking. So I'm not even gonna bother. We're gonna keep increasing temp. We know we're gonna hit over temp, which is fine. We're gonna bring the prop back now. So I'm gonna go to max speed. So I'm gonna gently bring it back. You'll notice the RPM is dropping. So let's see. So we've dropped off about, I don't know, 500 RPM, something like that, 400 RPM. Okay, we're actually increasing our temperature production there, which doesn't make sense to me. Probably it's the load. We've increased the load, so. Alright, increased load. That's what happened there. So it's increasing temp because of load. So let's see where I have to get on this. Ideally, I would like max speed to not overheat us, so we'll see what happens here. I'm only at 1,000 feet. I need to trim my pitch up here as I'm changing my configuration. Bring this back a little bit here. All right, let's see where I have to go to get this to stop heating. So go down to like 1,200 RPM. All right, good. So so we can manage our heat here. Still not as great as I'd like, but not bad. So right there at let's see if I can go to 12 on the nose. Still dropping temp. So, you know, as long as I know these numbers, I can get this to run right. I want to see if are my engines still. Yeah, this one's running a little bit of a dog compared to the other one. I don't know why they're off a little bit. That's actually why we're rolling to the right. Is this engine's running a little bit faster than this one. See, this one's about 14, 15 RPM faster. All right, so we're dropping temp at 12. Let's go up to 1250. Still dropping temp. Let's go to 1300. Because, like, you literally look in the manual. Okay, so 1300's a build. Okay, so like 12, almost just under 1300, we're starting to lose temp. So that's good. So we're still doing 175 knots. So this is our sustainable rate. I did climb a little bit, but not much. We were at 1,000 feet, so I didn't really screw it up too much with the altitude temperature. But yeah, that should work well. So this will work. You know, so I just need to be a pilot, like a normal pilot, and pull the power back. But you saw we were able to fly for quite a while before we had any issues. The issue I have now is that these engines are not running equally. So I'm going to just duplicate the engine. So let's see what we have here for micros. Let's see. Here's my cooling system. Max temp. Okay, so it's definitely starting at 100. Cooling clutch 1. Let's see what's up with this system. All right, so if engine composite 3 and 2. Greater than 100. That's a dead node going to the pumps. All right, so the plane's faster now and it's cooling better, so that was a good thing to do. All right. So I need to figure out why this is not symmetrical. Let's grab out what I don't need in here. So I'm just going to copy the other engine and put it here so that we are symmetrical. Because I want to make sure that we have good symmetry here. So let's actually just delete that. I don't want to deal with it right now. Let's go like this. Beautiful. Fits nicely. All right, good. All right, so I'm going to do a quick run up and make sure these are running the same. All right, let's rehook what I need to. Shit. What? Why do I have a duplicate avionics there? I don't know why I have a duplicate avionics there. That shouldn't be duplicated. Hopefully I didn't screw something else up that I needed. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that avionics being duplicated there. Okay. Whatever. There's the starter. Right there, okay. Brakes. Okay, that's still fine. Modular clutch pressure. Okay, I need an alternator. I don't know where my alts are. Are the alternators off here? Where's alternators? Alternators right here. Okay, and then I need the engines. Right here, engine. Alright, so these should be duplicated. Hopefully they're the same, and I can run it up and see what's up. Alright, let's give this a run, see what's going on. Alright, let it stabilize, make sure it's the same manifold pressure. Sometimes I get a copy error or something, and... Alright, so we're running the same manifold pressure now. Let's rev. They look identical now. There they are. Perfect. Alright, good. So that fixed that problem. Nice. Get this battery back in there. Nice, nice. So we now have a plane that we can cool, no problem. We have better performance in a cooler airplane, so that's even better. That's really good. All right, let's see what the frig is in the way here, dude. Cannot see anything. Oh, you know what it was? I copied the battery. Okay. I copied the battery from the other one. So let's see. This one I can delete this battery because this one's plumbed in. Okay, so there's the battery right there. And I'm just going to put in this battery because this one's already plumbed in. There we go. All right, good. So that's set. All right, let's redo this. I kind of, let me see if I might go two wedges on here. Let's see. I have one right here. Okay, there we go. And can I get a 2 in there? I can. Okay, so we'll cut this right there. Let me see what I can do in here. So I kind of like my little stubby engines, but these are looking pretty good too. These are looking almost like Aero Commander engines. Okay. Surprised I have not built an Aero Commander yet. I love the Aero Commander. All right, let's cut you there, and we'll fix that in a second. Okay. Nice. I'm trying to decide if I want this open or not. I'm thinking nay. I have the scoop here, so we'll keep the scoop. We'll give the scoop an open section here. But this should work nicely. Shit. Go like that. We'll have the scoop intakes there, like so. See, I'm trying to click through the propeller. That's why it wouldn't let me take the color. Go. That's silver on top. Should be silverized on top. Okay. That. Oh, piss off. Give me the right color. There we go. Alright, nice. So should have more powerful engines here. Definitely have more powerful engines. And they cool better. So that is all gravy. Let's go. We'll go my chrome color. We'll put in put heated intakes in there like that. Nice. All right, good. So I'm digging that. That's looking good. Yeah, I'm digging on that. So let's go ahead and save this one. All right, so let's go back to the career game. I want to get that pallet up there. So I'll finally get back to that. Read some chat. How's it going, Variante? How's it going, Sika? Let's see where I'm left off on chat. Yeah, I mostly go on there to help people. You know, I go on there and help people out. So go on there. I've just give people some tutorials that need it and stuff like that. That's why I do it. You know, I'm getting sick of it though. Try to help it out, but a lot of the disgruntled people who are just like they don't even play anymore. They just cry and whine and are jerks that hang out there. But there's still a lot of people on there who are new and asking for help, so I try to help them out there. That's why I'm on Steam as well. Just try to help people out. So. But often I have to pay for these sins. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take it out. Head over to. We need to go to what do you call it? The beginner base there. Are my engines off again? What's happened here? Probably an electrical problem. Yeah, electrical problem. I didn't hook up the electricity, so that's what it is. I didn't hook up the electricity. Radiator. Gotta fix these correctly. Alternator here. We'll go to this alternator right there. All right, this starter here. We'll go to. How are these hooked? Okay, these two radiators need to be plumbed into the starters. So we'll go. Where is it? Starter to here. To the radiator, back to the starter. Okay, that will fix us up there. These two got this. Nope, they didn't get disconnected. All right, those are good. Let's do a little bit of paint that I need to fix. I don't know why this gear is not working here, so I gotta fix that at some point. There we go, that's fixed. What is up with this one and why it doesn't want to work? Let's see, they're identical. Did I screw up the connection here? That's all electrified. Nope, let's see. That one is port main. Okay, I don't know why that gear screwed up. I'll check it later. Yeah, I certainly don't mind people just having their complaints of the game or any of that stuff, but it's just like, you'll have people that's just like, just turns into a negative, like, area. Reddit's pretty miserable. I used to go and I used to hang around the Star Citizen forums and just, like, be miserable. And like, you know, and all it was doing is it was making me unhappy, and it was making the people who are playing and enjoying the game unhappy, and it's like, you know. So I was like, why am I here just being a grouchy pain in the ass, you know? So I kind of, that's when I stopped doing that on the Star Citizen forum, you know. And it's different, like, you know, I have legitimate criticisms, but it's like just hanging out there all day and being negative is like not doing anybody any favors, not doing myself any favors, it's not doing people enjoying the game favors, you know. It was a good point somebody, you know, kind of brought up. You know, there was a thread on Reddit. It was, you know, is the game dead? And so what? This is a good example of why I go on Reddit, even though I hate it and I shouldn't. Is, you know, there was a new player and go, oh, I hope not. You know, I just got the game. Well, if you get most of your source of information from Reddit, it seems like the game is a dumpster fire and you can't even play it. You know, you get all these people saying the game is unplayable. Unplayable to me means you cannot even start the game. Like yesterday, Escape from Tarkov was unplayable. I literally would click on the launcher and it would say we're experiencing technical difficulties, the game is down. All right, that it means the game is literally unplayable. But people, if they can't figure something out or, you know, it's not as playable as they would like, they say, you know, it's hyperbole, they say the game is unplayable. So you get a new player who's looking to buy the game, or you get somebody who, you know, is a new player and they see, oh, that, and they go, oh, screw it, I won't even bother starting to play because it's dying. And that's why I go in there, is because what will happen is it's an echo chamber often for those negative voices. Well, if you let them have the voices themselves, like one thing that I was discouraged by a lot of, you know, the small part of the community who were like doing the death threats and everything else when the Space DLC and the Pressure Major update came out. And, you know, one thing I really thought was great was a bunch of the community came in who are enjoying the game, who've been silent. And often you'll see this, is the people enjoying the game are just playing the game. Like, they're just playing every day. They're not on there, you know, saying, oh my god, the game is so good today, right? They're just playing, right? Often you'll see people will leave reviews when, you know, like you see this with Yelp reviews. They'll leave a terrible Yelp review, so you either have like 4s and 5s, or you'll have like 1s. And so the reason is, like, if you had an okay time, you usually don't leave a review, because why? You know, I went to a restaurant, I had an okay time. It wasn't phenomenal, it wasn't bad. I had a good time. I had what I expected. And you don't leave a review because you didn't either have that high or that low. When you have a high, you go to a restaurant, it was fantastic. You leave a review because you're like, that was fantastic. Or you leave a review when you had a really bad experience at a restaurant. You know, and so what happened around, you know, and some of the backlash was those super loud voices make what often happens is they made the mistake of thinking they are some sort of majority, and they're not. The majority of the player base is just quiet. They're usually on the Discord. They're sharing the builds, their creation showcases. That's what they're doing. They're just quietly playing the game. You know, and then the people who are super disgruntled, who literally haven't picked up the game, who have, like, you know, it doesn't matter their hour counts. You have some people who have a lot of hour counts who stopped playing a long time ago. But they feel disgruntled. They feel like they were let down, whatever. And they're going to go and they're going to be super vocal trying to stop other people from buying it because they wish somebody had warned them to not buy it in the first place. And so they think they're getting their money's worth by going and ranting and raving on there. And one thing I really liked the community did was, you know, after you had all that really obscene backlash where there were death threats and all this other shit, a bunch of the silent people who just sit and play the game quietly came out and were very supportive in the comments. And that was something that I think the game needed. They needed all those people who, like, were just playing the game quietly and enjoying it to come out and say, nope, not all of us are like this. You know, of course we wish the game was performing better at the moment, but, you know, we're not all jerks like these people. And that was something I thought was great with the community, just coming out and saying, yep, we're here too, we're enjoying the game, we're playing. You know, we're normally quiet, we came out. You know, and so that's one of the reasons I do it is, like, you get a thread like that, and yeah, it would be easier just to ignore it and be like, yeah, there's just negativity. But then, you know, you get that false positive that you get an echo chamber where all these people think that, oh, the game must be dying, and you get a couple new players who are brand new to the community, and they take people's word for it. And all it takes is a couple voices being like, no, man, the game's not dying. Come to this Discord, go to this Discord. You know, Reddit's a negative place. Go somewhere else, and you'll find the game is alive and well. And that new player who might have 10 hours in the game and just put it down because they think it's a lost cause start to realize, oh, those people are, you know, those people weren't right, because, you know, I can go on this Discord and see that all these great creations, people doing this, and that person who might have just given up now has an outlet to go and actually enjoy the game. And, you know, so I think that's important. There's so many games that people say, you know, they've said Tarkov is dead so many times. Like, you know, for example, I've talked about this before, was they had a, Tarkov had this update where Tarkov is not supposed to be Call of Duty. Tarkov is supposed to be a hardcore game where you use tactics, you use map knowledge. It's not supposed to be bunny hopping Call of Duty, you know, bullet spongy nonsense, which is fine. Those games are fine; they're their own thing. But that's not what Tarkov is. And so they did this big update. It's probably a year ago now. They called it the Inertia Update. And so what used to happen was you had players who were tanks, and they would buy the biggest, strongest armor. They'd get all the meta guns, and they'd be invincible, essentially. I still think it's a little bit of a problem, but they have a painkiller meta where every time they would run across an open area, they would take pain pills, because if you shot them in the leg, they didn't get hobbled, they could still run across. And so it essentially made them like invincible tanks. And before they did the Inertia, because they had all this heavy armor on, they had a heavy gun, they had a huge backpack full of shit, they could still move as fast as you could as a naked person with nothing on. And the problem with that was that it was, you know, it was ultra unrealistic, because if they have that much crap on them, they're going to be really heavy. And so what Nikita did was he made it so that, you know, if you're heavy like that, you know, when you go to stop, you take like 2 more steps, and you feel really heavy. And when you go to start, it takes you a little of extra time to get moving, because you weigh like 160 kilograms. And so, you know, Nikita made these changes. Nikita is great because he's like, people like, oh, this sucks, don't add this to the game. And he's like, go play something else. This is my game. This is my vision. This is the game I'm going to make. And I love it because he tells you that he's not going to be influenced by this crap. He's like, he's going to make a vision. He has the vision. He's going to do it. And if you don't like it, it's not the game for you, man. And I love that with Escape from Tarkov. And so you had that same thing, people saying, oh, the game's dead when this came out. And for some people, it was dead. And that's perfectly fine. Was, you know, the game's not always going to be for, you know, everybody. And I think the devs always need to be, you know, in any game, need to be happy with that. Is, you know what, our game's not for everybody, and that's okay. And that's the same thing with this. And some of the, like, the old players in this game, you know, they came in back when the game was in its alpha state, and things weren't done. Or the vision wasn't completely fleshed out. And, like, every game goes through this where, for example, like, let's say I was going to make a game and I say, oh, you know, I would really like to add this feature and this feature and this feature, and everybody takes it as gospel that that is and must be coming to the game. And as a developer, you get to the point where you're like, oh, well, this feature, I just can't put this in. We don't have the time. We don't have the resources. We tried this, and it didn't work out really well. So those features aren't going to be in the game. And those people imagined in their head that their favorite features were going to be in the game. And then when they don't end up in the game, people feel lied to. And which is you know, to a certain extent, it's a reasonable reaction that they feel lied to. Let me just check this really quick. It's in the back. They feel lied to, that the feature that was important to them never made it in the game. And try to get out of here without dying. And so, you know, so the game, you know, their vision of the game never came to fruition, and so they think the game left them. And at the end of the day, you know, it's the dev's vision is what's going to come out, whether you like it or not. And so certain games leave people, and it's normal for some people that, for example, for some people, it was incredibly important that this game had a story and had missions that were engaging and had a, this really in-depth story. For me, I don't care about story. I make my own story. And so for those people, they're really let down because this game didn't develop the story to the point where they were happy. And so they feel let down. And even if they put in thousands of hours, they feel like the game has left them. And instead of realizing, oh, that's just my perspective, they think that, and there's certainly other people like that, but they think that they are that silent majority. And so they'll say, oh, the game's dying. Well, no, not really. The game changed, from that particular vision that you glommed on. And this happened a lot in Star Citizen. Star Citizen, and I think Star Citizen straight up lied to people. I think it's a big difference than like the devs saying, oh, we'd like to do this, 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 and this. Star Citizen literally every year for years came out and like, oh, the game will be out next year. The game will be out next year. The game will be out next year. And it never was. And they, and they keep taking their up to like over $600 million. And they keep, they're straight up lying to people. I'm confident in saying that Star Citizen is lying to people. And so, that's completely different than a game like, oh, we wanted to do this, we realized it wasn't possible, or we couldn't make it work the way we wanted, and so we went a different direction. That's a completely different thing. But the problem with those early access games is a lot of people get in early access, and the part that really interests them, like the dev might say 10 different parts, and the one part that really interests them, they assume that that is going to be the main focus. And oftentimes, that's not what happens. Oftentimes, if there's 10 features, they have to, go after the 10 features. And so, the feature that was most important to you may not be in there. And that happened to me with Star Citizen was, I was sold on a simulator. I was sold on a simulator. Oh, each ship's going to be unique. They're going to have their own flight characteristics, and they're going to have in-depth startup procedures, and they're going to have, they're going to be like a simulator. You're going to have to get in your ship, and you're actually going to have to press the buttons to get the engine running. Guess how you get your ship started now in Star Citizen? You press power on all, and you take off. And for me, that sucks. Like, I like a lengthy startup procedure. I like each vehicle to feel unique. The interiors are unique, but they all fly, ultra arcadey. And so I glommed on to the part of Star Citizen that was supposed to be a simulator. I heard the word simulator, and I got all excited. And that's what I hoped the game was going to be. And right now, I'm pretty confident that the Star Citizen will never be a simulator. And it's easy for me to blame the game and say the devs lied to me, whatever. I think there were some like actual legitimate lies in Star Citizen, but part of it was I took the part of the game that I wanted and I let my imagination run. And so that is on me. That's not on them, right? They did do some things like Star Citizen doesn't like squash people's, their hype enough. Star Citizen like actively tries to build your hype to get more money out of you. I think that's scummy. But, so there were a lot of people in this community who they had a vision of this game, of what was going to come, and some of it was, rightfully so, and other things was their own hype they built up in their head. And then when the game didn't go in their direction, they got pissed off, and that happens sometimes, and it's normal. And it's, that's one of the drawbacks of early access. But frankly, I love early access as a concept because a lot of these games would never exist without early access. They just wouldn't. And so we get some cool and interesting games. We'd get the same cookie cutter nonsense and bullshit if we never had early access, because it lets them get some money early and fund development while they're trying to figure out what their game's going to be. And sometimes that game's not going to be for you. And that happened with me in Star Citizen. They talked about, there was one thing Star Citizen talked about. I'll still probably play because I have a copy, but it's definitely not going to be the game that I wanted it to be. And a big part of that, it's on me. That was my own imagination that did that. Well, like, for example, like they talked about, because, what do you call it? What's the other one? What's the other space game? Elite Dangerous. So, like, Elite Dangerous, I could play offline, and I liked playing offline. I had no interest in fighting some other dude Like, I don't want to fight some middle school squeaker who was going to just, like, try to grief me the whole day. Had no interest in that. What I wanted to do was jump in my ship and trade cargo. That's what I wanted to do. And so in Elite Dangerous, I could go offline and I could fight NPCs. And so, like, you'd be trading cargo and an NPC would fly in, and they'd be somewhat challenging, but you could tangle with them for a little bit. I believe you could call security services if you were getting attacked, and then once security services showed up, they would fight the enemy, and it would give you time to jump away. So, for example, if I'm in a big cargo freighter, I can't really fight the enemy. I don't have the right weapons. I'm not maneuverable enough to fight an enemy fighter, but I could hang there long enough till security services came, and then I could jump away and I could go and do what I wanted to do. So Star Citizen talked about how they were going to have that system where, oh yeah, you can play offline. And now that's pretty much, I think, we think is dead. And so for a lot of us, that was a prerequisite. And so, you know, and the differences between, I would say, this game and that is, I don't know what early access this game costs, but like this is like 25 bucks. You know, Star Citizen, people are putting in thousands of dollars, and that's a different level of, like, holy shit, you know? Like, you put thousands of dollars in a game, and it's just, like, way off the mark of what you thought it was, you know, that's sucky. But, again, I chose to pay for that game in early access, Star Citizen. It's, you know, part of it's their fault for, like, they straight up did do some lying, but at the end of the day, it's still my choice. I chose to pay that money, you know? Yeah, that's the thing is, you know, all these words, unless they really specifically define these words, you know, you don't know what they actually mean. It's like simulator, like, you know, Rasmus was saying, can be a bunch of different things. Like, you know, Microsoft Flight Sim is a simulator. You know, that's what I would consider a simulator. And then you have DCS is a simulator, you know, and then you have other games that are not really simulators that will call themselves simulators. And so we all have our own line where we define that. And that's why, like, you know, you have to kind of, you know, Star Citizen was scummy about it, in my opinion, because what they did was when the community built up hype over a feature that the devs knew wasn't coming, or the community built up hype that they said, oh, the game will be out this year. Like, for example, in 2016, Chris Roberts stood on stage and lied to everybody right before a sale. He lied to everybody and told them, yep, the game's still coming out at the end of this year. He knew full well, 100%, in my opinion, that the game was not coming out that year. And he still stood on stage and lied to everybody and told them it was coming out that year right before the sale so they could make more money. And then it's, oh, lo and behold, right after the sale, oh, sorry guys, we're going to have to delay the game. Will be out next year. We're so sorry about this. You know, we couldn't have foreseen this. The game will be out next year. And then guess what happens next year? Right before the sale again, oh, yep, game will be out this year for sure. Right after the sale, nope, sorry guys, next year. And they did this shit for like 4 years. They were just next year. And then they went to, you know, we don't do dates anymore. Soon TM. We stop answering questions. We don't answer questions about dates. You know, and it's like they're years and years behind. You know, so I think Star Citizen it's not a scam, but is scummy developer. Look at this. The plane flies much better now, too. It's like we're right on the money. Look at that speed. That airspeed's right on the money. I can really really control precisely now. Like, I'm within a knot of my airspeed. This is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There we go. All right, nice. So I'm going to just put in, if you guys, those of you guys who join later, I'm just going to use the add-on to bring in the tug and the cart because of the way I had to set it up. Yes, I do have to do that. Reason I have not done that yet, Basilicious, is Basilicious talking about I have not configured the airspeed gauge yet. Was I literally just earlier this episode changed the engines up, so I don't know where my max speed is going to be. I don't know where my VNE is. I don't know where my flap speeds are. So I until you know, the engines are pretty much, I think, locked in now. And so now that they're locked in, I can actually do that. I still have to hook this up too. I haven't hooked that up either. So that is why I have not done that yet, is they are not, the engines were not done until earlier in this video, so. All right, let's let this our engine spool down before I go kill myself out there. How's it going there, Owl? You know, and I think Star Citizen, I won't harp on that too much, but you know, they sold some contradictory things to people knowingly, and I think that is scummy. You know, they absolutely 100% sold some contradictory stuff to people knowingly, and that is scummy. You know, and then you get games where, for example, they might say, you know, hey guys, we really wanted to put this in, and we just couldn't. Or we tried, like, they did this with the space update, you know, like, again, there was a recycled argument from somebody I actually have blocked on there that, you know, they were like, oh, sales came higher than space on the thing. Yeah, but the devs did address it during the video. They said that we tried doing sales and we were unhappy with the way they came out. And as much as that sucks, yeah, I would like to see sales. I know that Darkside Tripper loves to do sales stuff. There are a bunch of people who really like sales and would have really liked to have that be possible. The devs said they tried it and they were unhappy with the way it was, and they might go back to it. And so that makes perfect sense to me. You know, there are a lot of games that do sales and they have to have cloth physics, and from what I understand, you know, again, I certainly don't know much about software, but cloth physics is an absolute nightmare to try to get it to look good. And I think that, you know, you could do blocky sales in this game, but I don't think it would look great. And so, you know, I understand that. It's understandable. Is it, you know, would I love them to put sales in? Yeah. But they did address it, and they said, yeah, we tried sales, and we just weren't unhappy with the results, and we might go back to it. And so could that come as a major update? Yeah. The other thing that I would kind of think about with the whole talk about sales in this game is, would sailing be enough of an update to be a DLC? And my answer would be no. I don't think you could make sales a DLC. There's not enough there. And you also, one thing that the devs, I think, in this game do a reasonable job with is they try not to split the community. So, for example, like, I'm not huge on going to space in space DLC at all. It just doesn't interest me all that much. Maybe it will later. The game is not unreachable for me because if I didn't have it, I do have the DLC, but because I don't go to space, it's not unreachable for me. If you made sales behind a paywall, I think that would be scummy. And they do a pretty good job of not putting certain things behind the paywall. And so I think sales is too much in line with what the normal game is about to make it behind a paywall. Let's see if I can get that. Oh, shit. If I can't get this, we're in trouble. There we go. Okay. I think that would be scummy if they put that behind a paywall. Sales. I think fishing behind a paywall would not make sense. I think what does make sense is to put fishing as a major update and not put it behind the paywall. That's fine. Space makes sense behind a paywall. It's something that's a little bit... Oh, thank you. Space is something that does make sense to me to be not, you know, it's not base game. You don't need it in the base game. It's a different... It's outside of the normal scope of what people might do in games. So, yes, I think that's reasonable as a DLC. Weapons is all right as a DLC. Industrial Frontier is okay as a DLC. There's enough there that it justifies the cost. You start talking about small mechanics, like, for example, the oil update. Would that be enough for a DLC? No. And it was a major update. So, you know, I think that's reasonable to say, okay, this is going to be a major update. Instead, they talked about a couple weeks ago, it was 2 weeks ago now, they said that they planned 4 major updates for 2024. And, you know, they said it was highly requested features from the community. It would not surprise me if fishing was one of those. Fishing makes perfect sense with where the game is. It didn't make sense to me as a DLC because, you know, I thought that's what it was going to be, but it didn't make sense to me as a DLC, and lo and behold, it wasn't. You know, I think that's too small of an update. I think they could easily make some pots and stuff. I don't think they're going to do line fishing. I don't think they're going to do nets. Nets are going to be too hard in the physics engine. I think pots make perfect sense. You can still, people still do cod fishing in pots. And so you do essentially like big, huge, like crab pots, and you bait them for fish. And they already have fish and game. We already have essentially coal and other minables that are physicalized, and then they go into the hopper and they become dephysicalized, and then you can pull them out of the hopper and they become rephysicalized. And that makes perfect sense for doing pot fishing, where you drop a pot in the ocean, you have a bunch of fish around there. They become just numbers in the pot, and then once the numbers in the pot, you take the pot up. Well, if you wanted to grab the fish out or dump them into your ship's hold, which is another hopper, it's essentially, they become physicalized again. You can physically hold the fish, and then, when they go in the other shit, I don't want that to go that far. Okay, there we go. We're good. There we go. Low rider. They become physicalized again. And so the whole kind of dance of back and forth, physicalized, non-physicalized, I think makes sense for that. And so that's what I think they'll do. Let's see. So the reason it's sitting like this should be the parking brake. So, yep, there's a parking brake. Had it sitting. But there we go. That worked. Let's get a screenshot. I need a new screenshot for the video. But, so I think I'm excited about the 4 major updates for the year. I usually like the major updates more than the DLCs, just as far as content. Anyway, because they tend to be a little bit more focused. But, like I love Industrial Frontier DLC. But I think that's what they're probably going to do if I were to guess. They said they have 4 majors planned for next year. They said they're going to talk about them more. I think I'm looking forward to that. And so it's like I keep seeing these posts about the game's dead. It's like it may be dead for you. Look in the mirror, man. Say that, what, the game's dead for me and the people who are like me. I get that, but the game in general is not dead. If you guys have been following Days Gone is a dead game. Days Gone was for people thought it was literally a scam. The developers who worked for the company were telling people it was a scam. Days Gone came out on Steam, and within a week, the dev studio closed down. I'm stuck here for a second. I gotta fix this. That is a proper scam. That is what a scam looks like. That's a dead game. The game is literally dead. Like, they are no longer. The game is gone. That is a dead game. There are dead games. So when somebody says this is a dead game, it may be a dead game for them. That's fine, but it's not a dead game. Oh shit, this sucks. You suck. All right, so we need to make some adjustments to this bad Johnny. There we go. I got some issues here. All right. So I'm hitting the edge there, so I might need to put some more wheels on this or something. I'm going to just take damage off for right now. So the wheels, I need to put bigger diameter wheels on that trailer. They're just too small. So bigger diameter wheels should help. Don't fall off, you scumbag. We'll get it there. So for those who weren't here earlier, I actually just used the add-on to get this back because I accidentally despawned it. So the tug and the trailer. All right, let's do this. Let's grab this and that and this and up and this and that and this and up. All right. Oh, you are a heavy bastard, aren't you? Well, shit. That's not good. Let's see. Is there anything I do with this? Alright, let's go. I don't have any on top, do I? No. Alright, let's do this. So. Let's do a new add-on here. So, like, if you ever get in one of these situations where you're like, stuck like this and you put a lot of effort in, this is where a lot of people just get frustrated and pissed off. You know, frankly, the easier thing to do is you can use the add-on editor here to bring in whatever you need, fix it. You know, at the end of the day, like I talk about is, you know, you're not playing the game to get frustrated. And so if something's frustrating you, there are plenty of tools in the game which will easily get you out of that situation like this. So here, like I'll show you right now. We'll do military tow. Alright, so real quick here, all it's going to take me is to do this. And now we're back to running here. And so, you know, I made a couple errors with my build. I could get frustrated and say, oh crap, I just spent the last 2 days building this thing and it doesn't work and life sucks and the game sucks and everything else sucks. Or what I could do is very simply do this. Yeah, it's a little bit cheaty, but guess what? You're playing the game to have fun, man. And would this be obnoxious? I don't own military base. We did a bunch of missions the other day, what was it, 2 days ago, and the game crashed on me. And so I could get all pissed off and be like, oh, I lost all this money. I would have been able to buy a military base. Or I can just say, you know what? Game kind of screwed me a little bit, and I'm going to use the tools that I have in my toolbox, and I'm just going to choose to enjoy playing the game today. And that's why I'm using this tow truck here. Is like, I could get all bent out of shape about this, that I didn't build that thing perfectly right, and I screwed up, and I didn't actively despawn it properly, so I lost my tug, and then I had to come back up here, and I could get all breathlessly annoyed, or I could do what I'm doing now. I put the tow truck in with the add-on. I'm dragging the sucker over here. Mission's complete. I'm going to make adjustments to my tug system. That's going to work from now on, and then when we get enough money, we'll buy a military base. You know, it's like all these tools are in game, and you know what? If you're getting frustrated, use some of the tools. Try it out. See if you can cut your frustration down. You know, overheating is not broken for me right now. As you notice, you know, I spent most of this episode, you know, fixing the cooling on that on the plane, and we're good to go now. You know, so. Certain parts of cooling, absolutely, I would say the fluid ports are 100% straight up broken. I think they'll fix them. You know, there are bug reports in there. I think they'll get to it, you know. Let's go ahead and look. There's money going up. All right, good. You know, these pumps are currently not broken, but they're not working as well as they should. I don't have no clip on. I'll kind of show you. If you go to no clip and you fly in here, this one might be, nope, this one does have it. Okay, so let's look at how they actually made these. You know, these are actual physical. These are not fake. A lot of games do it, you know, the Sims call it rabbit holes. You essentially go down the rabbit hole and magic happens in there. The way they do it in this game is it's actually real. Like, if you look, we have hoses going in here. They go up here. They go into enclosed pipes. They go into an actual large pump. They come down. There's a, was that a storage tank? Yeah, storage tank here. They pump in to this storage tank here. There's a keypad in here. They left a keypad in here. There's a constant on or number there. There's an actual, what is that? Fluid port or something there. Battery in here. You notice this is all real in here. And there's a microcontrol at the bottom here. They actually have to physically change these. And so, yeah, we have some problems here. There's not air valves on here. So they actually have to physically go back and change these. So, you know, if you want to be helpful, you know, I might do it at some point. You come in here and you say, hey, devs, it looks like you guys have a regular pump here going into a tank. We're having problems where the pressure seems like it builds up in this tank. If you guys would put an air relief valve right here on this line, I think all the pumps would be fixed. You know, by taking some pictures, by showing them what you think would fix it, they could actually go in there and fix it. So if you know how to fix it, which is pretty simple, I think that they just need an air relief valve in there going outside here. So they could put a small fluid port right here with an air relief valve going out, and guess what? You've just helped them fix their system. That's how you get stuff fixed. And you know, if you actually want stuff fixed, that's the best way to do it. Is just put in a bug report and help them fix it. That's going to actually get you there. You know. All right, so we're building up money here. So I'll read some chat. But yeah, so these systems are actually the stuff is actually in here that makes this work. Like if I go over here, well, no clip into these. These pumps are currently having problems where people are airlocking the pumps. So if you look, the pump physically has a connection here that goes down. It goes into a large pump here. And there's another large pump there. There's a keypad here, probably them setting some numbers. They go into 2 tanks. Well, guess what? If you notice, they don't have any air relief valves here. There's no gas relief valves here. So eventually you'll pump too much in there and it will overgas. Now, at some point this needs to magic away. So there's got to be some element in the game that magics this away out of these tanks. One thing they might be doing is giving these infinite volume. So these might be XML edited so that these 2 tanks have infinite volume. Not necessarily infinite, but whatever is in your storage. So this one, instead of reading up to 715 liters, this one probably reads whatever the max of the base is. This one probably reads whatever the max of the base is. And so that's how they do it. So they probably just need to put air relief valves on there, and that will fix it. You know, so you know, I think it's something that's easily fixable. You know, and if we as players can look in there and be like, hey guys, you guys didn't put any gas relief valves on there. I wonder if that's why X, Y, and Z are happening. Then the devs can just go back and they can open it up, put a gas relief valve on there. Yay, it's working and stuff works, you know? But I do think it's kind of neat that it's not completely magicked away. It's an actual physicalized thing. And because it's physicalized with parts we have in game, they can physically fix it. So, but they have to actually physically go back and fix each one to make it work. So yes, it's going to take some time. If you understand some of these systems, that each of these pumps is a singular physicalized item that is actually plumbed up. They have to actually go back. A lot of games cheat. They make it a rabbit hole where you plug into here, it just deletes, it counts, whatever's in here, it deletes it, and then there's another number value in the base that says, okay, the base now has 3,000 units. This doesn't do that. It does it at some point. It does it at the tanks probably. But it seems like this physically puts it in those tanks, and those tanks physically hold that volume. But it's kind of neat, actually, to kind of see it like that. Hovercraft parts would be cool, yeah. Let me just catch up with chat. I said hi to Owl. Saw a couple comments from Basilish. Answered one of them. Yeah, I'll get that gauge tuned in, but yeah, I was earlier in the episode. I was just still doing engine changes, so I usually wait till I know what my speeds are going to be before I go and deal with the gauge. So that way I don't have to do it 10 times. Glad you like the tractor, Owl. How's it going there, Alexander Bigsby? How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, but like, you know, a lot of this stuff, like, you know, so for example, another one that some grouchy people are complaining about lately is, you know, it was on the poll that to have ice breaking. They did have physicalized icebergs at one point that you had to push out of the way. The issue is this. You need to understand this game is played by a bunch of different people who want different things. And none of us, and it's called compromise, all right? None of us are going to get 100% of what we want, and that is okay. Compromise is okay. A lot of people think compromise is not okay. Compromise is okay. You're never going to get 100% of what you want. But as long as you get enough of what you want to enjoy yourself, and frankly, I don't want 100% of what I want because it's going to make a bunch of people miserable, right? I would make this so that you have to do timing on your engines. You actually have to set up the pistons in your engines to have, you know, what's on its intake stroke, what's on its compression stroke, what's on its exhaust stroke. If we had that game and you had to do that to make a modular engine, we would lose a ton of players because a lot of people do not want to go and have to learn these things. Well, I already know a lot of this stuff, so I don't have to spend the time to learn it. I enjoy learning it, though, so it wouldn't bother me. So I'm happy that they compromise with a more simplified system so that more people can enjoy it. It's not picking my pocket that more people can enjoy this game. It's actually good for the game for more people to enjoy it. Very few people would play the game that I want because I would make it super, super, super duper technical. Like, you would build each part of the turbine engine. and that's fine for me. I spent a whole semester learning how turbine engines work, you know. But for most people, that would suck. And so I'm happy with that compromise. And so, for example, I would love to have the icebergs back. Why do I think they took the icebergs away? Because you have the multiplayer community, which really, frankly, I never play multiplayer. I don't care about multiplayer, but I do care about the people who do care about multiplayer. I hope they have a good gaming experience. And so a lot of the people playing multiplayer were complaining of lag. So what did they do? They took away all the foliage underneath the ocean. There used to be foliage on the bottom of the ocean. They took it away. Why? Likely to make it less resource intensive so that multiplayer was less laggy. Why did they take away all the icebergs? So that likely multiplayer is less laggy. Because for a lot of people, they'd be playing down here. Like, say you have 10 people playing on the server down here, and you have one person up here. Well, all this needs to be spawned in because one person is up here. And now you have little tiny icebergs all through here, and the game crawls to a halt in multiplayer. For me, playing with a good PC, with good internet, by myself, I could probably tackle the icebergs, no problem. But again, a lot of the community was complaining that multiplayer was laggy, so the devs had to take certain things out to make the game less laggy for multiplayer. And so a lot of people will act as though these are just silly, decisions. Why did the devs take out the icebergs? That makes no sense. Of course it makes sense. There was an issue where you had people playing multiplayer and the game was, nigh unplayable for them because of the icebergs. And so they took them out, and yeah, it sucks. But you know what? I'm happy that it's a reasonable compromise for me. They took out a feature I liked, the physicalized icebergs, because I used to have to, you'd actually have to move your ship around them. If you hit them too hard, you damage your ship, or you just bump into them generally, so it slowed you down. It was another cool feature, but it made it so multiplayer people couldn't play. So I was happy that they made a compromise where it improved some people's gameplay at the expense of my own enjoyment. So I don't know. Some people need to be a little less selfish and understand that, some of these decisions are made so that other players can enjoy the game. I'm going to leave that there, that jet fuel. But that was good. We made some cash on that one. Yeah, exactly. Like Citrus, how's it going there, Daniel? Good to see you. Now, let me make sure I'm caught up on chat. I don't want to skip anybody here. Yeah, let me go up. Catch up. I was on chat, and then I got off topic from one of the comments. Yeah, like Rasmus talking about hovercraft parts would be really, really cool. Innate dualies would be really, really cool. I'd like to see some innate dualies. Stuff like that would be cool. I would really like to see that. Differential, I would like to see that. That would be cool. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just doing a chat here on my phone. Let's see. What would be cooler than hovercraft parts is pressure differential where venting to atmosphere produces a force increase. Yep, that would be cool. Yeah, like skirt parts using that would be really cool. Yeah, some really cool stuff there. Yeah, but for example, skirt parts that they don't interact with the ground. They could even make them almost like hidden wheels in there, so they behave properly with suspension, and they squish a little bit. That would be really neat. I said hi to Daniel. Yeah, the game was not made for multiplayer. It was a non-multiplayer game. It was a single-player game, and the community asked for, multiplayer, and the devs gave the community what they wanted. But because multiplayer, I think some people think like, oh, just make a multiplayer. A multiplayer is incredibly complex to do, and I'm certainly no developer, but it's from everything I've ever heard from any dev team who's ever made multiplayer, it's absolutely a pain in the ass. It's a ton of work, and really, a game needs to be made from scratch for multiplayer. There are a lot of things you have to do to make it work well in multiplayer. The other thing is, I think a lot of people need to look in the mirror is they have terrible PCs, they have terrible modems, they have terrible internet, and you're not going to have a good time. I've played multiplayer with Citrus before. I played with people on the west coast of the U.S. I've played with people in Europe and on the west coast of the U.S. I'm on the east coast at the same time in multiplayer, and we had no issues. But we all had good internet, and we all had good PCs. And so it was able to work because, you know, if you have a good internet, it will cut that latency down. You have some people who have absolutely abysmal, horrific, you know, scary internet, and the latency is, you're thousands of miles away from each other, and you're still able to be in a game together thousands of miles away and have it work right. And that's amazing, frankly. And for a game that didn't innately have that as a feature, yeah, it's never going to be perfect. And the people who think multiplayer in this game is ever going to be perfect are nuts. You know, and the other thing, too, is a lot of them are going, and there's a big difference between, you know, we used to do the Workbench podcast. Endo would host us. It was on his PC. He was the host. And he is on the West Coast. And I'm on the East Coast. And we had other people in between. We would have guests on who were in Europe. And if his PC was not good enough, if his internet was not good enough, it would be a bad time. Because he had a good PC, because he had good internet, it was fine. Now go on a server where you have people from all over the world on the same server in the game who some of them have absolutely horrific internet, and then you have a bunch of people spawning a bunch of stuff that's XML edited that never was intended to be in the game because they XML edited the workbench and it's not optimized and they didn't put in physics flutters, and they have a bunch of really insane microcontrollers in there that just use up a ton of stuff. You know, of course it runs like crap, you know, but now if you had a server, you said, okay, this is an East Coast only server. If you have a ping over 120, you're gone. A lot of games do this, right? Tarkov does this. If your ping goes up too high, see you later. Adios, muchachos. You get kicked. Most games do that. You get kicked if your ping's too high. I don't know if they do it here. But what would that do? That would be if you're not on the East Coast of the U.S., you're not going to be on the East Coast server. You're going to get kicked for ping. We only allow 10 players, right? A lot of those servers people complain about allow more than 10 players. You cannot launch anything that's not XML edited. You know, and if you put in rule set like that, multiplayer will work fine because you've put in rules. But what happens, people say, oh, my freedom, and they get pissed off because there are reasonable restrictions on there. So that's sometimes what some games will do, but you really do have to build a game from scratch multiplayer. You know, the devs talked about they're working on Not Stormworks 2. If I were to guess, they said it's another vehicle building game. If I were to guess, they are building it multiplayer from scratch, you know? Sorry, guys, I'm just doing a quick message. All right, let me read some of Daniel here. Daniel's back in. Yeah, exactly. Networking is black magic. The back end inside the engine, getting the server client handling right as hell. Absolutely. You know, and for example, Escape from Tarkov. You know, I talk about Tarkov a lot because that's the game that I have more time in Tarkov than I have in this game, and I have 5,500 hours in this game, something like that. I think 5,700 in Tarkov. And Tarkov, I played Tarkov for many years. That was designed to be multiplayer. 100% from the scratch, from ground up multiplayer. Are my engines doing funky shit again? They are. I do not know what's going on with these engines. Like it will go where it's the manifold pressure's not even. Anyway, so Tarkov started from scratch like that, and Tarkov was having all sorts of network issues, and it's incredibly important that Tarkov doesn't have network issues. And they did a bunch of stuff that annoyed some people, like they put ping limits on and everything else, and people were getting booted left and right. And it took them some years to get the networking to work right on Tarkov, and it works pretty well now. We get a little desync here and there, but it's nothing like it used to be. And that game has a lot of more devs, has a ton more money than this game does. And it took them years. And I even, I told you guys earlier in the video, Tarkov was literally down all day yesterday. Imagine like what the grouches in this game would be saying if this game was down for the day. They'd act as though somebody just punched their mother in the face. Tarkov was down for the day. And does that suck? I really wanted to play Tarkov, but I didn't. I just played this. And it was like, sometimes you don't get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you get what you need. And it's like, it's not the end of the world if your video game is down for the day. It was like I was making fun of the people doing death threats when they made them, on October 12th, and I stand by it. Was, imagine if somebody saw you freaking out and heard you were issuing death threats to people because you'll whittle video game, you couldn't play it for one day. Imagine what the world would think of you if that was that was you. And I think sometimes you kind of have to like look back in the mirror and say, am I freaking out over nothing? Is this really a big deal? Should I just go out and like take a walk and touch some grass or go play another game for a day? Yeah. It's why I kind of like have a little bit more patience with some of this stuff. Is you got to put it in the greater context of the world. Is losing access to your video game for a day is not a big deal. Let's read some more chat here. Okay, I got the manifold pressures equalized again, so we're good. I don't know what's causing it, but I get a power differential after shutdown sometimes. I don't know what it is, but I've got them fixed. Like, you see how low my RPM is? Let's go to max efficiency. So max efficiency, the props will increase their blade pitch, and it will put more load on the engines, which will... You do this in real life. I've showed before. I won't bring them up, but like B29, I brought up the manifold charts, and it will show you what manifold pressure to set and what RPM to set. You're setting your RPM with the prop, and so what you're doing is you're increasing the blade pitch. You're taking a bigger bite of the air. But the engine is not powerful enough to move that at max RPM. It slows the engine down, burns less fuel, and you gain a lot of efficiency. So now that we're supercharged, we were down to like 105. We're up to 130. So this is awesome. Like my max speed now is about 180, 180 and change. And so we're down to 127 at max efficiency. Look how low my RPM is. We're at 375 aside. Look at my temperature. Like we're losing temp and my fans aren't even on. My fans on my radiators are not even on. And we're losing temp. And this is how planes do it in real life. You don't go balls to the wall is a term from aviation. You don't go balls to the wall IRL. You pull them back. You usually ride around in max efficiency mode. Why? Because it's a company. You're trying to make some money. So I might get there like 2 minutes later than I normally would, but I save a buttload of fuel. So this is working really well now. But like, look at this. Look at how ice cold we are. At 44 degrees and dropping. And I don't even have the radiators on. The fans are off on the radiators. It's still putting liquid through and still cooling off, but it's not, the fans aren't on, which you wouldn't need the fans. We're going 130 knots. The air would come in from the front of the engine and go out this back. That's why I have that scoop in the back, is that's how they air cool the engines. Is the air goes in the front, comes out the back, and they actually put doors on there called cowl flaps. And you close the cowl flaps to either keep the hot air in there. What will happen is the air will still try to push in the front, but eventually it will compress so much that you can't get any more air in there, so the air now wants to go around, because it gets to the point where it's easier to go around it than to pressurize it more. And then you open the cowl flaps and the air will come out. You also have intake cowl flaps, doors you can close on some airplanes where you actually block the inflow. But really neat. I'd love to be able to do some more air cooling in this game. Trying to catch up with chat. Yeah, but it'd be really cool. I think I expect for not Stormworks 2 that it's gonna be another building game. It's gonna be essentially Stormworks. I think it's gonna be pretty damn close to Stormworks. It's gonna have a different name, and I think you know what? Good on them for doing that. You know, frankly, I think you should. I think the devs would do better sticking to the guns and be like, "Hey guys, this is our game. You know, we're gonna build our dream game. We're gonna build our vision. And if you'd like to come and play our game, be our guest. If it's not the game for you, that's fine too." That's how Escape from Tarkov does it. Nikita's like, "Nope, go play a different game if you want that. That's not this game." And like Nikita is like really like straightforward and bold about it. And I like that. It's refreshing. You know, you say, "Hey, you know what'd be awesome if we could like have some skins in Tarkov and I could look like a fucking alien." And Nikita's like, "Get out of here with that shit. That's not happening." You know, and I love it because it's like he's straight up telling you, "Yeah, we're not doing these weapon skins like we do in COD. You know, not having it. Sorry, not going to be in my game. Sorry, not sorry." And I like that. And I think the devs from this would probably benefit a little bit from that. You know, but that's not their strategy, and that's fine. And so, you know, there are some people who hang on the name of this, of Stormworks, build and rescue. Oh my god, they haven't added, like, you know, rescue isn't 100% the theme. You can do other things. They've lied to us. And the game is called Build and Rescue. So the game is a building game, and the main theme is still rescue. Most of the missions are still rescues. You know, I do more missions than most people, and they're mostly rescues. But you can do other things too, which, you know, is very smart from them on a business standpoint, because the number one thing that this game does really well is building. And so it makes perfect sense for them to take the best feature of this game, which is building, and to expand it so that we can build more things. We can build whatever we want. And as much as, like, I'm not a huge fan of the space DLC just because it doesn't interest me all that much, into people being like, "Oh, well, you said this was going to be the theme." Instead of theming it, they should, you know, just call it building game. You know, if they call it building game, which, you know, I think they should stick to their guns. They have a brand name. Just call it Stormworks 2. You know, I think people, they did scare some people. It was less of what the devs did. The devs put out a reasonably clear roadmap. You had some people in the community who were saying that the game is dead. They're moving on to the next game. And literally, again, the reading comprehension on some of these updates, they do an information update every other week. And all you have to do is read it. And if you don't want to read it, I do a video every week. You can listen to me read it for you. If you have reading comprehension problems, you can listen to me read it to you. And there are some people in the community who will, like, literally, they'll go and they'll comment in the weekly update, but they won't read it. And, like, I've been seeing this recently. I think Citrus has probably seen him. He's probably dealt with the frustration of that, is they'll literally get the exact opposite message of what was in the update. Like, literally, somebody was like, "Oh, this is confirmed, the game's dead." And they're not, or they, what did the person say? The person said they're not updating the game anymore. They literally said in the update that they're doing 4 more updates for the game, and that that Stormworks 2, or Stormworks will not be affected by not Stormworks 2, and Stormworks will be around for a very long time. That was literally what the devs said, and the person in the comments was like, "Oh, they're abandoning the game to go work on this other game." And it's like, all you had to do was click on the link above before you commented and read with your eyes, and you would have seen that everything that you just said was exactly opposite to what was stated. You know, and it's just like, that's the level of, like, so, you know, you gotta kind of read some of this stuff, man, if you want any sort of information. And let me catch up on chat. Co-op workbenches, yep, a lot of people would love co-op workbenches. I think that's going to be in the next game. But that is something that has to be built in there from scratch. Now, I hope beyond hope, I much prefer the workbench system than the Space Engineer system. The Space Engineer system is, you are standing here in game and you build in game, and it sucks, and I don't like it. This I like. I like going to the workbench. The world freezes. I have access. I can float around. I have all my parts. Now, I'm perfectly happy to do... I have no interest in doing any multiplayer building myself, but I'm perfectly happy for that to be in the game because other people would love it. I have no interest in it. I'm not... Zero interest in building alongside somebody else. You know, I don't want somebody like, I don't want to be working here and doing something and I look and like, what happened to that? As somebody else deletes something I was working on. You know, I have no interest in that. But some people love it. Great. Put it in the game. I'm happy for that to be a feature. But, you know, it's certainly not for me. Let me read a bunch of stuff here. Yeah, co-op workbenches, I think would be hell. Yeah, like Daniel Case talk. Think about how many times you disconnected a node and then this guy that won't even notice or ruined your logic. Yeah, like that. But again, it's just not for me. I don't want it not to be in the game. I actually do want it to be in the game because it would make more people enjoy the game. Yeah. But that would be also be my fear is somebody like, what did you do? This build was working 2 minutes ago and now it's not. What did you do? You know, and I think it would be a level of frustration for me. But it would be kind of nice that, like, Daniel's talking about spectating workbenches. So, like, for example, I could have somebody come in and they're like, oh, I don't understand how you did this. And I can be like, okay, take this, do this. And then I'm like, here, you show me. You build it, I'll watch. And they do it, and then you're like, yep, exactly like that. You know, that would be cool. Yep, but that's the thing is, and it's my whole philosophy is just because it's not something I would use or I won't like, but not that I won't like cooperative workbench, I just won't use it. But I think a lot of people get very selfish in these things, and I try not to be. I want features in the game that I might not enjoy because it brings more people in, which is good for the game, which I also want other people to enjoy this game. It's why, like people were asking earlier, why do I still go to Reddit if it makes me miserable? I do it because I want to actually go help those people who are asking for help. And that's what I do. I go in there, I try to help them out, I post some tutorials to help them out. That's the only reason I go there. I really, when Reddit did the API changes, I wanted to get rid of Reddit. The only reason I don't is because I want to be able to help those people out. The same reason I go on Steam. I still go on Steam and help people out and have to deal with the grouchiness. But at the end of the day, I would rather help people out, and I try to ignore the grouchy people. But it's also like too, as somebody who like does weekly update videos and some of that other stuff, I kind of like to see what the community's talking about as well, even if it is negative bullshit. I do like to kind of see what the community's talking about. Because it's like, one of the ways why I do tutorials, like, if I see post after post after post after people saying, the devs ruined Steam, Steam's broken, Steam doesn't work, I'll go, okay, maybe they're right. And what do? I do a video, I test it, I realize, nope, Steam is definitely not broken, and I do a tutorial. And instead of being a snarky shit, I just say, Steam's not broken, guy. Here's a tutorial showing you that Steam is in fact working. And I think that's more positive. That helps the community. Me going in there and being an opposite jerk doesn't help. So I'd rather just go in there and put the video. Let's see. Yeah, that's, again, I don't think it picks anybody's pocket for the workbench to be multiplayer. You can choose then if you want it or not. And that's why, one of the things I always say is, like, how does that pick your pocket? Is if it doesn't pick your pocket and it helps somebody else out, it's a good thing. And so it's like cooperative workbenches don't pick your pocket if you can still build by yourself. If they took away the ability to build by yourself and you had to build with somebody, of course. But that's not what people are talking about, No, I know it's constructive debate. I'm just joining it. Cap's Classroom series. Yeah, that'd be fun. That's one reason, like, when I'm trying to learn a mechanic or fix something, I ignore chats like, hey, put a T-piece there, or hey, don't put a T-piece. I just do it because I won't remember how to do it if I don't do it on my own. And so it's like, even if somebody, like, gives me the answer, I'm like, I'm still going to do it on my own. And one of the reasons, too, is on tutorials, I want to have worked through the problems myself. So somebody's like, oh, why didn't you just do this? And I can be like, oh, I didn't just do this because I tested that, and these were the results, and the results were worse. Or, if I did that, it took up 10 times the amount of space, or something like that. So, Oh, tanker, that's cool. Co-op. Trip is attacked, yes. Get you a blankie. You can hide in your blankie. Portable fraction tower doesn't work. Interesting. Did you build it vertically? Because I'm curious if it's built vertically, will it count the number properly? If it's not built vertically, will it not? Interesting, yeah. Okay. Try building it vertically and tipping it down. See if that works, because the game might register the height when it's built. And then if you're tipping it down, it wouldn't have any vertical height for fractions. So test that out. And then maybe you can tip it later. What do I need to do in this? I don't know what I want to call this yet. I'm trying to think. Let's look at some of my tail art, and we can... I'm not going to pick it right now, but we'll look at some of the tail art. This is going to have tail art, so... That's kind of my new thing, is some of these get animals. Like my big builds are still going to get generally Greek or Roman gods. Pantheonic gods. Let's see, donkey. So, like, here's the tail art for the donkey. I like these, like, cartoony. You just hand draw them. Let's see. Like, the stall plane is the donkey. So you can see the tail art on the stall plane is the donkey. I might redo this tail at some point to be more like the other one, but this is very low. This is very compact, but I need a bigger tail on this. That's the donkey. Seagull. There's the seagull's tail art. Albatross. The whole point of the albatross, why I called the albatross, one, because of the big bird, but two was the song from Aaron Chupa, Albatross. I was going to do like a video, you know, I wouldn't be able to monetize it, but I don't give a shit, but of the albatross was going to be kind of cool, so I'll think of something for that. Maybe a stork. Stork would be kind of cool. Stork. I'll check some stork pictures, see what I can do here. I need to make something I can paint. Stork would be kind of cool. I need to kind of get some low pixely stork that I can kind of use as reference. I always hand draw them, so. It needs to be somewhat simple because I don't have a ton of space. Let me see. Chickadee. Chickadee is another one. Chickadee is, you know. Let's see. Heron would be kind of cool. Heron could be cool. The cormorant I have as one of my builds. Auk. Maybe the on auk. Auk would be cool. Yeah, I think auk. Yeah, baby. Auk. I like the auk. Don't nobody clip that and change it, please. I like the auk. Get out of there. I can't spawn more than 20 around blocks, and yeah, it sucks. Yeah, albatross, blood and beak. Yes, I will do pixel art. I'm trying to see if it... Yes, yeah, exactly. Basilisk just saw what I was talking about. Here we go. That's a good awkward right there. Okay, and then we want... kind of digging. I can work with the first picture here. This picture here I should be able to work with. So this is gonna be my reference, and I just hand draw them. So we'll hand draw that out. Do I cover chat or do I cover? I think I cover OBS. I need like 6 monitors. Oh, don't save. Get out of there, you devil. Oh, let's. I'll work on that cart later. I'll forget, but whatever. Here we go. Actually, let's do white. All right, let's do a paintable indicator. And then the tail number will be right here. So this will be the info, and this will be the picture, and this will be the tail art there. Let me just. Sorry, I just checking my phone as well. All right, good. So let's see. I can always flip it if I want the Auk facing forward, but this is a good pick for the Auk. I'll show it again. This is good scaling, squared out. The beak, I can't get too much detail into the beak at this scale, but we have a couple colors, which is nice. I can do a little bit of wing detailing. The feet, I can do a little bit more simplistic. A big eye is nice, so this is a good, it's a good picture for that. Should be able to work that in pretty well, pretty good. Let's see. All right, let's see. I want to go all the way to the top because I'm grayed around, so we're good there. Let's go black brush. Okay, and then I need plenty of beak room, so that should be good space there. Okay, starting here on the beak, I think. The nice thing is this is all monochromatic in the back, so I can go right to the edge, and it'll be a good demarcation there. Go one extra there for the little point on the bottom of the beak. And I think I'm going to do a straight beak on the bottom with the little point there. That's not bad. I might go up here like that. I see the problem is I got to go 3 up and then cut out the mid. We'll see how much texture I can get in there. Can't get too much texture in there. That looks like a donger. Let's go like that. And then I want to get a line in for the split in the beak like that. That's not bad. Okay. Head's too big here. Giggity. Yeah, it's the head's gonna be too big. It's taking up too much space here. You know, it's gonna be a little bit cartoony anyway, so or a lot cartoony. So I don't mind an over accentuated beak on there. It's not a big deal. General shaping. I could trim the head down a little bit here. The beak's kind of on the big side, which is what I want. So general trimming in here. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Cut the. That way I can trim this body a little bit there. That's not bad. Scale-wise, that's pretty good, actually. Take a little bit out of the breast here. Giggity. Yeah, that's not bad there. Okay. My artistic prowess is not that great, but do a manageable job here. Okay. A little bit more penguin-y. This looks like he's has some sort of hunger-related distension at the moment. So let's get rid of that hunger-related distension there. And I come down a little bit, I think, so we'll go down just a hair here. I was doing the thing where it keeps the color. All right, let's screw that off. Okay. All right, good. So I got a little bit of shaping idea of what I want here. So let's shape in, go out. Not too bad. The neck looks like he's a little bit it's been choked. Got a pretty thick neck on the picture I'm looking at here, so I'm gonna come and try to make this up a little bit here. That's better. Looks a little bit fat, but once I get some detailing in there too, that will help. Need to smooth this and make that less sharp. Yeah, that will help. There we go. Not too bad. He's got like a little hump on his back, so we'll hump that back out there, and then it goes down more. So kind of a cut in on the neck here, maybe a little higher, and then fix that hump a little bit. Kind of come in, and then he like really goes to a big hump on his back, and then he goes down for his tail. Holy shit, that's bad there. Try to resculpt this. Shape's a little bit funky. I'm gonna try to figure it out. Get rid of that. Comes right off his beak, and then it goes into his neck, pretty much straight down into a belly. Comes back straight to a tail, and then we go up almost vertically, and then into a hump. And yeah, he's got like a Quasimodo thing going on there. Jesus, it's brutal. He's looking hideous. Let's see. I'm just gonna color him a little bit, see if he's looking hideous now, but we'll get him. I'm just trying to get some detailing in. I like some of the shaping I had before, but I'm trying to get the detailing in. I could fix it later. I just want to get that detailing in. Figure a little detailing, maybe I can fix him up. His shape's a little bit problematic. I need to make sure I have enough. His head's big enough I can put a big eye in there. And that's a problem. I'm just gonna make him a color I can color swap. That's a little bit off color here. Then I can sculpt his back with the highlight color instead of with the outline. The outline's tough to see what it's gonna look like. I can sculpt better when I use the interior color. And see, like, the problem is he has a white patch on his, he has a white patch above his eye, and I'm like, I don't have a ton of space for the eye as it is, let alone the white patch, so I have to keep that in mind. Alright, so let's try to get an eye in there, because I need a bunch of detailing in the eye. I think what I'll just do is I will not outline the eye because there's going to be no prayer that I get enough. I have enough block to get the detailing in on the eye. And then like go maybe that. Like, there we go. A little bit lighter on the sclera. Back off. Alright, so the eye's pretty good. Pops with that. And then he's got a white patch here, which I'm not gonna do white. I'll do like a beige. So it's all in his eye, like right there is his white patch. Alright. So his head's not bad. I need some shaping here, some body shaping. Problem is I need almost like a black outline of his eye right here. to cut the white a little bit. So let's go like that. That's not bad. Keep a little bit of outline on the eyes. Belly is absolutely like, it's been eating fish for a week. All right, let's go ahead and we'll cut in Jing. Try to get his belly situated so he doesn't look like such a fat ass. That's better. Okay. Back's a little bit Quasimodo for me. We'll fix that up. A little definition in the neck, I think. Help him a little bit. All right, so that will go down like this. That's better. Starting to get some shape on him. That shape looks much better there. All right, he's got a terrible hump on his back. He's scoliosis for days. Make you less scoliotic, my son. Much less scoliotic. Give him a little bit of definition there. Maybe he's got a little bit of malnutrition going on here, but not an insane amount. It's better. Problem is I'm running out of space here, so I can't cut in much on the tail. Okay. Want a little bit of tail detail there, so we'll detail out the tail just a little bit, like so. Trim out the excess here, and I'm putting in. That's starting to look pretty good, huh? What do you guys think of that? It's starting to get there. Look at it in game, see how it looks. He still needs feet. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, let's get them next to each other. So that's what we're working with there. So it's not perfect, but it's serviceable. You know, he's got a big beak on him, so I want the beak to be a big part of it too. So not looking too bad there. Belly looks a little bit better. I need to redo some of the belly line, and he's got to get his wing in there. But he's starting to look pretty good. Let me check the chat. Disable the double arrow. Let me look, see what you're talking about. Let eyes look at what you're talking about there. That dog's panting again. Disable this. Why, you don't like him? I would leave him on. Alright, so I gotta work on his, so I gotta sculpt his white belly line a little bit. So let's, sculpt out this belly line a little bit. So I want a little bit of curve in there. Give him a little curves, baby. So like, go like that a little bit, maybe like that. There we go. That looks better. Okay, then we'll highlight it. All right, there we go. I'm liking that belly line a little bit there. His tail now needs to come in like that. There we go. That looks good. Looks like a pudge. I wanted him to be a little bit on the pudge side, so I like that. All right, so he's gonna get some different blue. He's not getting this blue color. I'm gonna save this picture and see if I can get. Actually, this purple here might be ideal. Let's look. Yeah, that's it. Baby, that's nice. I didn't have to go in and do a bunch of bullshit to get that. That looks really good there. I like that. That's a good color there. All right, let's get some feet on this bad John. Kind of got some webby feet, so let's not gonna be able to do too much, but we'll be able to do like a couple toes there. Let's do it more towards the front of the belly. That way I can have a little bit of workspace there. And he's got almost like webbing between his toes, so try not to make it too weird with the toes here. Not that kind of show. I don't really like what they did with his feet. I don't really, the feet aren't coming out great, but let's see. That's not too bad. It's a little bit funky. See if I can get him like a little bit of beef cannon on his feet, just a little bit. I can go double blocks on his feet, so that'll help a little bit here. Like, let's see if I can split a toe in there, like so. No, that's Jesus Christ. What's he got for feet in here? He's gonna get real basic feet. It's just gonna be a bitch to get those feet to look perfect, so. Let's go a little bit of a stocky leg here, and then like that, really. Real basic feet. Yeah, that's good. I'm not trying to get webbing in his feet. It's just not going to work well. I'm going to just extend the foot a little bit just so he looks like he's not going to tip over forwards. Whoa, come on there, flicky camera. Let's not do it. Alright, so that's his foot. I think that looks fine. Yeah. What do you guys think of that Auk? That Auk came up pretty good. I got it fixed right here. I gotta give him an outline too. He's gonna get an outline, so let's see. I think the Auk came up pretty good. Not too shabby. Let's go right here. It looks like he's been a little malnutrition there, so we'll do that. We'll do this. There we go. I'll give him a little bit more headspace there. Yeah, that's good. Round his head out a little bit, but I think he looks pretty good. All right. Let's see. What do I want to use for outline color? Let's go ahead and save this. Auk. Albatross. Tends to be my outline color. Let's see if I can I can't do a full outline on him. I already screwed myself on that, but let's go ahead and we'll try. See what I can get. I don't need, could probably do a partial outline. Let's see. This makes it pop at night because I light him up at night as part of my logo light, so. There we go. Now he pops. All right, let's, what do I want to do for lighting? Let's try to do the same coloration here. I'm going to save this really quick version that I like before I screw it up with doing additives. Okay, let's grab brush, additive. That's too bright. Something screwed up here. This is the old blue. I didn't get that one part there. Okay. A little bit on the pinky side for this, but I'll work on this additive here. I can fix it up. Want to get them somewhat kind of done, and I'll fix them. All right, let's darken this up by 20. 48, 28. Okay. If I could count, that would be fantastic. Okay. There we go. Beauteous. That's really good. Okay, good. Can't color swap additive, can I? No. Figured I couldn't. Rather be slow and steady and get it done right than screw it up. That's looking really good. I like that. Starting to like my little fella. Pudgy in all the right ways. Be a bitch to find a white that I like. Let's see. We have a bay. There we go. There's his eye. Okay, let's go down. Oh, I don't know. 40 on these. 29. 29. 29. Yeah, it's not enough. It's too dark. It won't show. Let's go 39. There we go. Okay. Now this is screwed up here. I gotta fix that. Might actually just finish the beak on that. No, I won't. Leave it like this. Okay. Okay. Can I go 10 lower on this? I don't know. Let's do 29. I know I did 29, 29, 29. It just wasn't enough. No, it works. Okay. Get that in there. It's alright. Okay. And I need to find a belly color that's not going to be miserable for me. That's too bright. All right, let's go down. Probably 175 down on each. 175, 215. Minus 175 is 40. Not doing that kind of math in my head. 245 minus 175. 70. A little pinky for me, but we'll see how it actually... Gotta kind of see how it looks at night. You know, it doesn't really matter what it looks like in here. It's kind of... Some of the stuff looks pretty good at night. That just looks garish inside of the editor. There we go. Alright, let's grab a constant on. Actually, I don't want a constant on. Let's do a toggle. Alright, so I'm liking the Ock the way he looks there. Looks good. Turn him on. Yeah, I'm digging it. Could do a demon red eye, but I don't think I'm gonna. There we go. That looks really good. I like that. The beak is too dark. I can't see the beak, so that cuts his, you know. And then I'll do the outline color. Beak's still too dark. All right. Oh, what did I just do? I just closed my reference picture, but I think I'm all right at this point. So, all right, let's go. We got additive paint. We got to go up on this one. So let's go. Yeah, let's go, I don't know, 35, 35, 35. I want it a little bit darker. Let's go there again. Okay, and then this color here. That's too bright, so let's go down 150 on each. 77. There we go. Beauteous. Give him a good outline. The black won't get outlined, but we don't need it. It'll be negative space with a blue outline around it, so it will not need it. What I'll probably do is his feet will be lit up by the same as his beak. And then this is going to be, you can actually see what I'm working with here. I don't have a flashlight on me. I have no clue where the hell I am. Where am I? There I am. Yeah, I missed a little bit of the outline of the front of the beak. I might stick a blue down that one just for the additive on that, but that looks pretty damn good. I'm digging it, man. That looks really cool. A little bit of orange on his belly, but I don't hate it. I do not hate it. It looks like a little bit of a dirty bird. Let's see if I can't get that fixed. All right, so he's going to get an additive here of the blue is going to go down there like that for when he spawns in. So yeah, it's going to look funky, a different color, but let's see if I can see it. Where the hell am I again? There it is. No, that's fine. I like that. I dig that. I might get rid of that little protuberance there. I don't need it. Actually, it's fine. Top of his head, I need to do a blue across. I like it the way it is. I don't think I need to screw with the orangey belly, but okay, so that will fix that. No. Go up 20. Gets rid of some of this brown on there. That's better, I think, there. A little bit whiter. A little whiter, less orangey pink. A little bit more in the beige color scheme, I think. Yeah, gonna be a little less orange. I didn't mind it, but a little tangerine color, but that looks a little bit more on the beige side. Lost again. There it is. There it is. I think I had a little shadow. I can see the plane. A little bit yellow, but I kind of like it. I'm digging it. He looks good at night. Let's read some chat. I've been out of chat for a little bit. And I'll see you later there, Basilicious. See you later there, Zachy. Zoom back up on chat. What happened to my music and music? I've really been on here for 3 hours? I guess I have. Apparently, I have. So, been having fun. It's been going by quickly. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good now. Yes, I do need to put the little wings in. I may or may not. We'll see if I can get them in without making it look funky. Just reading chat. I may not do the wings. We'll see. Angry Ock. Yep, he needs to be angry. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. I get you. I see what you're saying there, Bestlicious now. Alright, so let's see. He's pretty good. Do I screw with the wings? I don't think I do. I'm not going to be able to get him in and make him look good. He's going to have no wings. Poor bitch, but he'll be alright. Alright, so the definitive Auk is done. Let's grab him. I think I like him facing backwards. I don't know. Could do him one way on one side, one on the other. That's one thing I do when I try to design my tails is make sure that they can fit the, I'm going to do tail art, make sure they can fit something in there. So what I love about twin tails is the twin tails in game are really nice for that. Is it makes it so that it's easy to get tail art in because we can't do double-sided paint blocks. I think I'll do one forward, one, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do one forward, one rear. That's forward. That's rear. A lot of them I have face rearward. I kind of like them facing rearward. Yeah, I'm going to have them face rearward. Yeah, alright. Let's work on the tail number. So it will likely be AUK if I can get it in there. Stop doing the thing where you just keep drawing when I stop. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, good. Alpha Uniform Kilo, baby. K's can be annoying. K is kind of annoying to get a good K on there. Seven, perfect, okay. What? Alright, so number 67 Alpha Uniform Kilo. The Great Auk. No, I like it like that. A little asymmetrical. No, definitely not that. Can I drop some height off the end? I think I can. That's a 5-banger. Can I go any shorter than a 5-banger? Not really, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it. I think it's fine like it is. I don't know, the A seems a little bit wide to me, but not bad. It looks alright. Could justify right, but I'm not gonna move it. Drop a little height off everything, I think, maybe. my god, stop clicking on random colors there, dude. Stop! I hate it when it does that. It, like, keeps the color, and it drives me shithouse. There we go. Drop some height off of this sucker. That's better. Alright, so there's November 6-7 Alpha Uniform Kilo, the Ark, the Great Ark. Alright. Then I will do additive. Just use checker on these usually. It's gonna be fun with K all lit up, but we'll see what I can do here. Not gonna do it for me. Stop. Stop. Let go of the button, you scumbag. I didn't plug it in, so it's not going to do anything. Okay, let's plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. I'm so lost. There we are. All right. Six, 7 Alpha, you key. I might just completely red them out. I'm not gonna. Let's red them out. See how it looks. I might darken it. We'll see. Usually like the checkerboard, but it's I have too much letters missing. It just looks goofy. There we go. 6, 7 Ark. Beautiful. Stick that in there. I think that looks damn good, so that would be good. That's now the Ark. Straight to chat. I got you. Yeah. Number 6-7. Hey, okay. You could check the tail number, elimination by verifying. Yeah, I could do that. I like this. The red's pretty good. The red's working for me. Sometimes I checker it, sometimes I do it. It depends on the numbers I use too. Certain numbers I like making, like sixes, 7s are good in game. The A looks better now. AUK looks good. I'm happy with that. That came out nicely. But now we have a name for her. She is the Auk. I like the tail better on this than I do on the stall plane. The doors are still scare the shit out of me that they're perfectly in line with the propellers. Can't push them back in the cargo area though. So, one thing I should do. Let's see. Where is my? I think it's on the other one. So one thing I'm gonna do is this. Is if I go to where are we at here? The alternator. Here's alternators. Oh, the alternators aren't plugged in. What the fuck? There, alternators. Alright, so what we're going to do with the alternators, I'm going to do a numerical switch box. We'll test it out first. We'll see what it does. I try to use the alternators as engine brakes really quickly. Let's try this. Spawn it. That's funny. I didn't have the alternators hooked up. Yeah, I see what you're saying with the DOT tapes, yeah. Checkerboard them off, yeah. Alright, I can kind of see how long it takes to shut an engine down, so I'm just going to time them. Because I want to, I've done this before, and it works sometimes, depending on how much load you have on. I do it with my helicopters all the time, is, alright, shut down. I'll wait for one to stop, and then what's going to happen is when I shut the engine off, it's going to put the alternator all the way to 100% clutch, and that's just going to give it some back pressure to try to help slow it down faster. Because, you know, in IRL, if you have reciprocating, turboprops take a while to spin down because there's really not much resistance, but reciprocating, you know, eventually you're going to start getting the cylinders trying to compress, and they never get a power stroke, and so the compression of the cylinders stop them, and they'll go back forth a little bit. Because you get that cylinder compression, so it's actually a compression brake. Yeah, I gotta look up those DOTs on that one. I really like that. Yeah, I'm digging the brights on this one. Oh, that is a good idea on checkerboard. Alright, so we're stopped pretty much. It took me about a minute to get down to 3 RPM. So let's go. About a minute to get down to 3 RPM. So we're going to come in here and we'll go like this. That will be... So this will be the on value, and this one is going to make things ugly. What number is that? What's the switch number? What's going on with this? Oh. Where's my number here? Oh, right here. Okay, 13. Nope. I gotta see what the panel number is on this. 15 and 16. 15 and 16. How's 15 and 16? Gotta be around the starter here. How's 15 and 16? The heck? There's 15 right here. Okay, finally found the damn thing. I'm just using the one alternator to run both of them, so it's gonna do it like this. It's not X and not Y. Z. Nope, that's backwards what I want. Okay. Nothing's easy. Property text on there. Property number, there we go. Alright, so I'll just set it up so that when it's, I don't know what that's all about. I'll just set it up so that when this is, when I shut the engine off, it's going to give it a 100% alternator to try to stop it faster. Right. That way it'll just give me a little extra squirt of electricity, and it will slow the engine down so that I don't have to wait for them to spool down as much, especially seeing I have to walk out that door. Yeah, I usually do a wheel. I do a wheel in a lot of my helicopters, but it's on the big side, so I can't fit it in there. I don't have the space. I'm pretty small in the cells. I would love it if they give us like a one block break, essentially. That'd be awesome. All right, here we go. Let's reset this. Let's press the stopper on this. I'm looking for 3. I gotta shut both of them down, so it's gonna be off, but we'll see. If either of them's on, it won't default to off. So it's gonna be a little funky, but the clutch is probably the clutch is 100% engaged all the time, so we're good. So it seems faster. It makes sense. It only takes like 20 seconds before I can walk out there and not have to worry about getting chopped in the head. It's a little bit faster. It's not super duper faster, but it is faster. Yep. All right, so that's faster. So that's worth doing. All right, good. Save this up. Now we have a name for it. Okay, let's work on a couple builds. Am I in my... Which save am I in here? Have I been doing this in the career game the whole time? Yeah. Whatever. Hopefully I didn't burn up a ton of fuel. I think we're alright. Gives me something to do. I'm going to quickly just open up the custom game. And I want to do a couple fixes on builds, and then I'll probably wrap up. But this has been a fun episode. Got the a bunch of work on builds. So I got the cooling fixed on the plane. That's nice. The plane is now named and branded. Do some more decorating and more work and more testing through the career build series. So that was a good bit of cash that got brought up there. So that's a new revenue source for us. Is doing that. I probably will use the add-on for putting the tug up there until we buy the base. Probably do that. Just gonna be easier. This will get a little bit bigger wheels. So hopefully, because what had happened was it hit the ground, which I can actually tilt the bed for that as well. But we'll go 50s on here, and that will raise it up a little bit. So that should work. How many more days to the build challenge? 4 days for Big Man's build challenge, I think, being over. Let me quickly just check that out because that's important. I'll probably... I don't have much left in the sub. I have a little bit here and there. I'll probably jump on it and check on that, you know. Looks like Zachy put in his sub, it looks like. Couple chats, new chats in there. Let me try to find out. It's Basilicious does it on a downloadable link, so I got to check that real quick because that's important to make sure I don't miss the deadline on that. I could turn it in right now and I'd be perfectly happy with it, but I'll do a little bit of this and that and this and up and see what I can get. 4 days, 5 hours, 56 minutes. Yeah, so I got plenty of time. So probably play with that sub a little bit, get kind of that rapidity up. I think that's good. Yes, that would be neat to do, like the prop going backwards on its stop for the compression stop. Yeah, that's neat. Could shorten the neck on this, but if I tilt this, it should be fine. So did I save that? I think I saved it, yeah. See if anything else needs some work, so... Yeah, the plane's kind of wrapping up. Like, that's a simpler plane. It's decoration stuff. I'm going to try the stuff I build in the career build series here. I'm going to try to release. I'll get to it. It's like, I don't like spending too much time doing, like, the workshop page for this. But, like, this is ready to go, pretty much. I don't think this has any issues. So, like, this will go up. One cool thing is the trailer I made for my 50s truck. This will actually pull that boat as well. It doesn't have the tracks in the bottom, so I can put the tracks in the bottom. But that will fit on here, and that can be towed via the trailer. So try to get that out. W50 needs work before that could get out. But as things get kind of finished, I'll start getting them out. I'm trying to release what I make here. The AUK will eventually get released, but it still needs some work, you know. Reddit sees the build and they want links right away, but it's like it's not nearly done. So we'll get something like that done. But yeah, so that's been a lot of fun. Let's thank some members, if I can find the right page. Just thank some members. So thank you to all the members. I really appreciate that. Side Amount, Connor Boyle, Danny, Sergeant Chaos, Aaron Repairs All, FS Gamer, Citrus, and Rasmus. Thank you guys for being members. If you're interested in that, it's down in the description below. Thank you to Chicken Soar for being a patron. If you're interested in patron, that's also down in the description below. If you guys have yet to subscribe, if you would consider subscribing, I appreciate that. If you've not liked the video, please like the video. That helps everybody find it and helps me out. I appreciate that. Build Challenge Hotel voting is going on. There is the date is going to be, let me bring that up real fast before I forget. And there's great sadness in all the world. December. I'm in the United States. I use U.S. dates. That's not changing. 16th. 2023 at 0 Eastern time, so I believe that is this Saturday morning at midnight. So the stroke of midnight Friday, my time, 0500 Zulu. The voting will be concluded, and I will announce the winner for the Build Challenge Hotel Community Favorite. I will be using the 3 builds for in an episode of the Career Build series. If it's a tie for Community Favorite with any of the other ones, they will use the 2, but that will go in the Career Build series. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.